Chapter 361. Wu Nian saw that everyone was looking at her. If she went, it would make it seem that there was something between her and Gu Lingqing. If she didn't go, it would make people think that there was something between her and Gu Lingqing. Don't go. Lu Shuang tried to persuade Wu Nian. Wu Nian nodded. I don't think there's anything to say to him. Let's help move Ollie and Lisa to the bed. Miss Wu, can I have a word with you alone? Xia he also said. Okay. Lu Shuang held Wu Nian back worriedly. Will they be okay? No. Wu Nian said with certainty. She turned on the flashlight on her phone and followed Xia he to the back of the villa. I want to go back with Gu Lingqing this time. I don't want to hide anymore. What do you think? Xia he asked Wu Nian. Before I saw Zhou Hailan, I actually believed that you were not a spy because you did not live a good life. After completing the mission, you should go back to China instead of hiding in the remote Tangqian village. After seeing Zhou Hailan, I thought that maybe you were abandoned by your country because you did not complete the mission well, Wu Nian said in a deep voice. What do you mean? Xia He's voice became sharper and he looked at Wu Nian in confusion. When Zhou Hailan first came back, she pretended that she was mentally ill and pestered Gu Lingqing. I was sure that she was not sick and I also thought that she was the real spy. However, after she found out about me, she took the initiative to let go. She also told me that she and Gu Lingqing had a child and asked me to take care of this child. For so many years, she has been by Gu Lingqing's side inconspicuously and did not do anything bad. Although sometimes her methods were a little despicable, it was because she wanted to save Gu Lingqing's feelings, Wu Nian explained. That's right. If she was upright, would her methods be despicable? She's the spy, I'm sure. Xia he was a little excited. That's because you know you're not a spy. That's why you're so sure. But other people don't know. They can't tell who's telling the truth between you and Zhou Hailan. Wu Nian also raised his voice. Don't you know? Don't you trust me? Xia he asked back. I believe you because Zhou Hailan is standing on the opposite side of me. I don't believe him because of emotional factors. Speaking of emotional factors, Zhou Hailan has a son named Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing's parents have always wanted Zhou Hailan to be Gu Lingqing's wife. Do you think Gu Lingqing's powerful parents will believe him? Or should I believe you? Xia he was stunned. Indeed, if Gu Lingqing had believed her from the beginning, she wouldn't have had to escape. Didn't Gu Lingqing do it because of emotional factors? Then what should I do now? Xia he asked Wu Nian. Either you escape, or... Wu Nian paused. If you have a complete plan, you can sneak back to country A. Sneak? Xia he locked his eyes with Wu Nian. Many complicated thoughts flashed through his mind. I want to eat the oranges from Tangqian village. Wu Nian remembered the oranges she had eaten in that small town. The boss had used the local oranges to pass them off as wholesale. It was very sour, so sour that her teeth hurt. However, it was very original. She couldn't eat it, so she gave it to Gu Lingqing. The way he looked at her at that time was doting and helpless. The oranges in her mouth were sour, but her heart was sweet. It's the artistic conception, right? Wu Nian replied. Have you eaten it? Xia he asked. It's so sour that my teeth are going to fall off, Wu Nian replied with a smile. Xia he looked at the place where Gu Lingqing was hiding. She had already gotten the answer for him. You and Gu Lingqing. At that time, I couldn't tell that the two of you were together. It seems that my eyes were blind, Xia he said. Wu Nian twitched the corner of her mouth. She didn't want to talk about whether they were together or not. It was too sad. Gu Lingqing will probably catch you and bring you back. You should find a chance to escape. He said that as long as I'm on this island, he won't catch me. This isn't in line with Gu Lingqing's style of doing things. He is loyal and values friendship. Those who died in the mission were his good brothers who risked their lives for him. You are the one he suspects. He won't let you go. Maybe, there is something more important in his heart. Or maybe, he has changed a lot. I heard from Stephen that he would help him meet Mo Shui. Mo Shui and Stephen used to be in a relationship and were in the jewelry business. How could the Gu Lingqing in the past be interested in the jewelry business? Xia, he sighed. Now that he has taken over the Gu family, expanding the family business is his responsibility. Alright, I have to go back. Otherwise, my friends will be worried. Wu Nian stopped the topic. Bye, thank you. I will go to the kitchen and cook a bowl of noodles for all of you. You guys haven't eaten much for dinner, Xia, he said, and walked towards the direction of the kitchen. Wu Nian turned around and went back. She had only walked for 10 meters when she was suddenly blocked by Gu Lingqing. She was shocked and jumped back, covering her heart. She saw clearly that it was Gu Lingqing. Mr. Gu, don't you know that people can be scared to death by scaring others? Didn't you want to seduce me before? Now, I will let you seduce me, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian's heart trembled. She didn't understand why he suddenly said that. The light of the mobile phone shone on his face. He looked at her seriously. His eyes were deep, firm, and still cold. He didn't seem to be lying or joking at all. When did I say that I wanted to seduce you, Mr. Gu? You are too arrogant. Wu Nian replied and walked past him. Gu Lingqing held her hand and looked down at her angry face. I'm sorry. Wu Nian looked at him in surprise. He rarely said sorry to people, so she understood how precious this sentence was. I was so bad to you before. It was a test for you. After all, you are here to take care of my child. You will enter my life in the future, and the child will be completely handed over to you. Moreover, your voice is very similar to my ex-wife's. I suspected that you were sent by someone with ulterior motives. However, after getting along with you, I found out that you were not sent by someone else. In the future, my child will be handed over to you. Gu Lingqing said very sincerely and looked at her with a burning gaze. Wu Nian was very tempted to take care of his child. That way, he could always be together with Xiao Yan. My way of education may be very extreme. Wu Nian gave him a warning. Don't use people you doubt. I suspected you before, so I didn't use you. Now that I use you, I won't doubt you, and I will also respect your way of education. Also, how much did you give Xiao Yan for the mobile phone? When you go back, come to me for reimbursement. Gu Lingqing raised the corner of his mouth and said. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. Nothing could be hidden from his eyes. She was a little worried. I will go back and think about it. Chapter 362. Gu Lingqing's offer was really tempting. She could take care of her child and help Lu Shuang get rid of Shaniyan's control. Lu Shuang had helped her too much. She shouldn't be a burden to Lu Shuang anymore. Okay, I will take good care of your child. You? Ha. Gu Lingqing chuckled and looked at her with a secretive expression. She still remembered that when they were not familiar with each other, she was also like this. She would address him respectfully, intentionally or unintentionally to distance herself from him, with a strong sense of alienation. Wu Nian didn't know why she was laughing. What was so funny about her words? Moreover, there was a sense of mockery in his voice, which made her feel a little uncomfortable. Then, Mr. Gu, I'll go back first. I'll have to trouble you with Stephen's matter. Wu Nian nodded respectfully and left quickly. Gu Lingqing's strong aura had already made her feel suffocated. Gu Lingqing looked at her back as she ran away. His eyes were calm, as if he was in the depths of the beautiful universe and could see through all the sceneries. As soon as Wu Nian returned to the living room, Lu Shuang walked in front of her. Xiao Nian, are you okay? Wu Nian shook her head. I know Xia He. I said something and she said it to us. Miss Wu, Stephen shouted. Wu Nian nodded at Stephen and listened quietly. Thank you so much for today. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid that my 2 daughters and 1 son would have died without knowing why." Stephen thanked her. Wu Nian didn't think there was anything to be grateful for. She shouldn't be responsible for the 3 lives, and she didn't want to. It's God's arrangement, or it's already destined. "Stephen, I'm sorry for your loss. Maybe the 3 of them are living well in another world." Stephen wiped his tears and said in a choked voice. He picked up one of the candlesticks. "Please follow me." Wu Nian looked at Alan, and Alan nodded, indicating that she could go. She followed Stephen into one of the studios. The walls were covered with Stephen's paintings, and in the weak candlelight they had a dim beauty to them. "I don't know how to thank you, but these words are the most precious to me." "Take 2 of them with you," Stephen said to Wu Nian. "Everyone has something that they care about the most and that they think is the most precious. It's not very kind of me to take away your precious thing at this time. Besides, you really don't need to thank me. Even if it wasn't you, if it were someone else, would still do what I could," Wu Nian tactfully refused. "If you think my paintings aren't good, I have a painting called Dreamgirls that was auctioned for 15 million. After deducting the platform fee and taxes, I'll give the rest to you. Mr. Stephen's paintings are unique and full of meaning. Ordinary artists can't compare to them. Why would I think it's not good?" "Really? You like them? Which ones do you like?" "I can give them to you," Stephen said sincerely. "I only want this painting called Diablo." In a closed room, the light bulb was broken, and the surroundings were dark. Outside the window, the branches were shaking violently, and the lightning acted as the background, casting shadows on the window. A strong light shone through the window, leaving a brief moment of light. A little girl in a white dress was sitting on the ground, lying on an old bed. She looked up at the window, and the corner of her mouth curved up. There were rats on the ground, bats in the air, and spiders in the corner. If you looked closely, you could see that the latch on the door wasn't inserted. There was a book on the bed, and the handwriting on the book was very strange. "I think it should be Braille." The little girl was blind, and she was imprisoned. She was very lonely, and she went through a lot of hardships and pain, but she also longed for the light. As long as there was a little light, it was worth it for her to look up and pursue. Seeking. "I think this is the painting of Mr. Stephen's state of mind at that time," Wu Nian said lightly, and the corner of her mouth curved up as she looked at the painting. However, there was a thin layer of mist in her eyes. "You're right. This is my favorite painting. When I was painting this, I was suppressed by my parents. They forced me to give up painting and go into business. I hit many walls and encountered many setbacks. My lover betrayed me, my friends betrayed me, and no one could understand me. When Gu Lingqing saw this painting, it was exactly the same as what you said. He stood where you are now, looking at this painting without saying a word. He looked at it for the whole afternoon, and I didn't know what to say. He looked at it for the whole afternoon, and when I secretly went to see him, I saw him crying." Stephen sighed. A drop of hot tears rolled down from Wu Nian's eyes, and then, the tears turned into a string of pearls. She was a little emotional, and she turned her face away. This painting made her want to cry, because it was the complete portrayal of her heart. At that time, she was suffering from the betrayal of her marriage, her father's suppression, and her mother's illness worsened. She was lonely and desperate. Gu Lingqing was the lightning that passed through the window, short and bright. She only felt the warmth of the light, and then she opened the door and rushed out without caring about anything else. She ignored the branches on the window that were swaying crazily like demons. After she rushed out, she realized that there was not only bright lightning outside, but also a storm with plague. Her infatuation touched the lightning. In order to find the way home for her, the lightning deviated from the original track that belonged to her. She thought that Gu Lingqing must have the same thought as her. "You cried too?" Stephen asked. Wu Nian wiped her tears, and said with a smile, "That's because Mr. Stephen's painting is too good. It has a sense of the scene, and it can make people think of many things. This is the legendary painting that can make people immerse themselves in the scene. Miss Wu, you're really good with words. I'll get someone to bring it to you later. Now I know why you can be Alan's girlfriend. Alan has high standards, and you're indeed worthy of him. You're also qualified to be the Countess, Stephen said with admiration. Wu Nian smiled. Alan was only her protection. She never wanted to be the Countess, and she just wanted to maintain the status quo. Oh, Mr. Stephen, can you not tell others that I cried? I'm shy, Wu Nian said embarrassedly. Stephen nodded. Something happened at home, so I might not be able to send you back tomorrow. When you're free, give me a call. I'll pick you up and stay here for a few days. I'll show you around the island. Wu Nian nodded. Thank you, Mr. Stephen. Wu Nian walked out of the studio. When Stephen returned, he saw Gu Lingqing. He walked up to her and said in a low voice, "That girl, the one called Wu Nian, had her eyes on the darkness that you liked. She also cried. She cried even harder than you, and her tears kept flowing." Gu Lingqing looked at him and frowned. "How did you know that I cried?" Chapter 363. Gu Lingqing frowned even harder. He stepped forward and held Stephen's arm. Before he could say anything, Stephen said anxiously, She said don't tell anyone about her crying." "I've already told you. You should make up for it." "I'm not talking to you about that," Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. "What's going on? You scared me to death." "When you, Gu Lingqing, get angry, the earth will shake," Stephen said, panting. "She and her friends are here for you too. They want you to be their lobbyist," Gu Lingqing explained. "Don't worry. First come, first served. Since I promised you and you've done what I asked of you, I'll definitely help you." "I won't go back on my word," Stephen said, patting his chest. "I want you to help her," Gu Lingqing said and let go of his arm. Stephen looked at Gu Lingqing's face and said confusedly, "This is something that can earn you hundreds of millions of a year. You're just going to give it to someone else? Just do what I ask you to do. You talk too much." Gu Lingqing didn't want to explain more. "You don't like that girl, do you? She's Alan's girlfriend. Alan is a noble in England. His family is as powerful as yours. I think Alan is also crazy about her," Stephen said. "That's my problem. Don't worry about it. Do you need me to take care of your daughters?" Gu Lingqing asked. Stephen thought of his two daughters and felt sad. He shook his head and patted Gu Lingqing's shoulder. Then he went downstairs with his head lowered. He cooked noodles for everyone. After everyone ate it, Stephen arranged for the others to rest. Olga's husband took the two kids to bed. The kids were frightened last night. Casey's boyfriend stayed with Casey. Stephen's security guard was also in the same room. The housekeeper stayed with Stephen. Alan and Gu Lingqing stayed in the same room. Lu Shuang and Wu Nian stayed on the temporary bed in the study. "I didn't expect this to happen when we came here to steal a client," Lu Shuang said. "This isn't a coincidence, it's an inevitability. It's a foreordained fate." Gu Lingqing negotiated with Stephen to sell his paintings. Last night, the paintings were sold successfully, so Stephen decided to go to a land. If he calls his daughters back, they will naturally talk about Mike, who was killed by them. As for Kathy and Lisa, it's all because of Kyle. When the time, place, and environment are right, the incident will erupt, Wu Nian analyzed. Maybe it's God's will. Maybe it's not time yet. Lu Shuang accepted his fate. He couldn't hide the disappointment in his tone. Wu Nian turned around and faced Lu Shuang. "I've talked to Gu Lingqing. He asked me to go to his house to be a tutor. Besides, he said that he will let you have Stephen." "Are you serious?" Lu Shuang sat up in shock. "Although I don't know much about business, this collaboration should be a big project. At least a few $100 million? I don't know exactly how much, but I think it's an opportunity. I'll go to Gu Lingqing's house to be a tutor in the future. He can be my umbrella. Besides, Alan is already my boyfriend. I'm very safe. Cool girl, you should think about yourself. Wu Nian lowered his voice and said cautiously. But Gu Lingqing gave up such a big business for you. Could it be a trap? Lu Shuang was worried. As long as I don't do anything that will harm him, his children, his parents, or his friends, Gu Lingqing won't do anything to me. I can still guarantee his character. He's not an unreasonable person. Could he be sure that you're Baya? Lu Shuang guessed. My appearance has changed, and my DNA has changed. As long as I never admit it, he will never be able to confirm it. It's fine as long as you don't admit it. Wu Nian comforted Lu Shuang. Baya. Lu Shuang shouted and looked at Wu Nian suspiciously. I may leave soon. After I leave, we may not contact each other for the rest of our lives. Can you tell me something from the bottom of your heart? Baya felt sad. Lu Shuang was her best friend, and also her only friend. She would not contact him for the rest of her life. Thinking about it made her sad. But, perhaps, that was the fate between them. It was the arrangement of fate. Her eyes became misty. I'll tell you all my true thoughts. Do you still love Gu Lingqing? Lu Shuang asked. Wu Nian looked at Lu Shuang deeply. Baya loves Gu Lingqing deeply. She can love him until she dies. But, I'm Wu Nian. Is it possible that Wu Nian falls in love with Gu Lingqing? Lu Shuang asked immediately. Wu Nian was silent. Various colors of light flowed through her eyes. She gradually lowered her eyes, and her long eyelashes covered the flowing light in her eyes. Lu Shuang twitched the corner of his mouth. You don't have to answer. No matter what you want to do, I only hope that you can be happy. You must be happy. Shuang, what is the purpose of a person's life? Wu Nian asked, tears flowing down her cheeks quietly. Lu Shuang saw that Wu Nian was crying, and his tears flowed out uncontrollably. He hugged Wu Nian. Xiao Bai, I don't want to be separated from you. I want to continue to talk with you, continue to fight against the same enemy, continue to work together, go shopping together, eat together, and sleep together. Wu Nian hugged Lu Shuang too. She didn't say anything. She just let the sadness run wild, and her heart tightened. There were some promises of goodbye that she couldn't say out loud. Because she understood that if they met again, it would mean that they would have to face greater trouble. It would be difficult to meet again. The two of them cried for a long time. In sorrow and pity, they lay on the bed together. Lu Shuang hugged Wu Nian's waist. I hope that when Shiniyan finds a new lover, we will have the chance to meet again. When Shiniyan is no longer interested in you, I will go to Country D to look for you, Wu Nian said in a hoarse voice. Go to St. Martin's Church and find a priest named John. He will give you my contact, Lu Shuang instructed. Okay, I will always be in Country A. You know where to find me, Wu Nian sniffed and said. Lu Shuang buried his head in Wu Nian's hair. He put away his usual cheeky and careless face and said in a deep voice, I know where to find you. Wu Nian fell asleep in a daze. She had a dream where she was really going to say goodbye to Lu Shuang. In the dream, she cried. Love, friendship, and family, she had all of them, but they seemed so far away. When she woke up, her tears wet the pillow. She sniffed and turned to look at Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang also had a bad dream. His temples were wet. Wu Nian felt sorry for him. She also made a decision. Next, in addition to taking care of her child, she also had to prepare for the reunion with Lu Shuang. Chapter 364. Wu Nian got up quietly. There was no separate bathroom in the study, so she needed to wash up. She opened the door. She didn't know when Gu Lingqing had been standing at the door, looking deeply at her. Wu Nian was shocked. Gu Lingqing handed her 2 sets of disposable toothpaste and toothbrushes. Wu Nian looked at the toiletries in his hands and had a strange feeling in her heart. These things should be given to her by Stephen's people. Did you bring them? Gu Lingqing was a little impatient when she didn't take them. Wu Nian listened to his deep voice, which was like the end of a cello, like the sound of nature in a peaceful environment. She took it and said respectfully, "Thank you, Mr. Gu. Since I hired you, you are my family now. You don't have to be so polite." After saying that, Gu Lingqing turned around and was as cold, strong and tough as usual. Family? Wu Nian looked at his tall back. It was good to be a family in this way. She calmed herself down and went to the bathroom to brush her teeth and wash up. When she came out, she saw that Lu Shuang had also woken up. Because of the miserable crying last night, her eyes were still red and swollen, and she looked confused. Wu Nian looked at her, slightly raised the corner of his mouth, and handed her the disposable toothpaste and toothbrush. "Look at your messy hair, it looks like a bird's nest. My hair is a little hard, so it's very angry, right? Ha ha ha." Lu Shuang laughed happily, as if he had forgotten the melancholy of last night. "If you were a boy, you would definitely be a general in ancient times," Wu Nian said jokingly. Lu Shuang put his arm around Wu Nian's shoulder. "Then you are my wife, and I will only marry you." Ha ha ha, good. Wu Nian also smiled brightly, but hidden behind the smile was her sadness and helplessness. Lu Shuang went to the washroom to wash up and tousle her messy hair. Wu Nian went downstairs first. He was just coming out with breakfast when he saw Wu Nian. "Stephen has already sent the motorboat out. The ship will be back in the afternoon at the latest." Wu Nian nodded. "Thank you. Let's eat breakfast first. Stephen asked me to show you around the island." He put the bowl on the table. "Thank you, Stephen," said Wu Nian politely. He has always been a man with a heart. Wu Nian and Lu Shuang had breakfast together. Lu Shuang looked around and said, "This is strange. There are only the two of us here. Where are the others? They should be busy with other things. Some of them might not have woken up yet," Wu Nian explained. Lu Shuang looked at the stairs and smiled. "Your boyfriend is here. He is handsome and pleasing to the eye." Before Wu Nian turned around, Alan leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. "Morning, darling." Wu Nian was not used to his enthusiasm. But then she thought that he was British and kissing on the cheek was their greeting, so it was nothing. However, she was not used to the smell of perfume on men. She smiled awkwardly and replied, "Morning." Alan sat down next to her and looked into her eyes. "You didn't sleep well last night." "That's normal," said Wu Nian with a smile. "When we go back today, I will take you to a place," said Alan with a deep voice. He lowered his head and ate elegantly. Wu Nian and Lu Shuang looked at each other. Lu Shuang squinted her eyes and smiled, looking like a gossipy person. Wu Nian sighed in her heart. She had dug a hole for herself. She had to fill it up even with tears. Besides, she still needed this boyfriend. "Do you need me to talk to Stephen?" Alan asked Wu Nian after the meal. Wu Nian shook his head. "Mr. Stephen's family is in trouble. If you put yourself in his shoes, it would be too immature of you to talk to him now. Later, Lu Shuang will contact Mr. Stephen again." "You?" Wu Nian paused. "When are you going back to the UK?" Alan smiled and his voice became very gentle. He looked at Wu Nian with keen eyes. "Are you going back with me?" "I want to go back to my country and do what I should do," said Wu Nian directly. Alan paused slightly. He did not hide the disappointment in his eyes, but he still raised a polite smile. "You are really straightforward and cute. I have business in country A, but I have to go back to the UK to send the necklace my grandmother asked for. Then I will go to country A to find you. I don't want to be separated by distance. I don't want to be an obstacle to our relationship." Wu Nian felt a little wet in her heart. She looked at him softly with a mixture of apology and guilt. He is so romantic. Lu Shuang held his chin and looked at Alan. Alan smiled gently. I am just doing what a boyfriend should do. It is not romantic. A boyfriend who makes his girlfriend sacrifice herself is not a good man. Xiao Bai, marry him. Lu Shuang urged. Xiao Bai? Alan looked at Lu Shuang in surprise and then looked at Wu Nian. Lu Shuang realized that he had said it wrong. He put down his hand that was supporting his chin and sat up straight. He thought for a while and explained, Xiao Bai means that you are very straightforward. It means that you are very sincere and frank. Oh. Alan understood. His smile became brighter and brighter. He showed his white teeth and said to Wu Nian, I am indeed worthy of marrying. Xiao Bai, right? Wu Nian burst into laughter. Looking at his sincere look in Xiao Bai, it was particularly funny. She giggled. You are indeed very fair. Ha 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 ha. You are indeed very fair. You are so cute. Ha 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 ha. Lu Shuang also laughed. When Gu Lingqing walked out of the door, she heard the laughter of the three people inside. She frowned slightly and her eyes were covered with a layer of mist. He rarely heard such a hearty smile from her. When he walked into the room, he saw Alan kissing Wu Nian's forehead. His face instantly turned livid and he walked over gloomily. It's good to smile like this. It's less distant and indifferent, and it's very beautiful. You should smile more often. Alan said softly. Wu Nian understood that he was deliberately making her smile. She felt touched. You mean that I don't look good when I don't smile? You look good too. Alan said quickly. Gu Lingqing lifted the chair and sat opposite Wu Nian. She leaned against the chair and looked at Wu Nian coldly. There was a dim light flowing in her eyes. Tell me, what made you so happy? Tell me so that I can be happy too. Do you want to hear the love words of Xiao Nian and Alan? Lu Shuang interrupted with a harsh tone. Oh. What love words? Gu Lingqing looked at Alan with hostility and sneered. Tell me so that I can learn. Rotten wood cannot be carved. Alan, you should have been to this island before. Take us out for a walk. There is an annoying fly here. Lu Shuang stood up and pulled Wu Nian. Alan smiled at Gu Lingqing. Sorry. Chapter 365. He looked at her deeply and used a commanding tone, not giving her any room to refuse, as if he had something important to announce. Wu Nian hesitated. After all, he was the one who gave Stephen to Lu Shuang. They would see each other often in the future. He was her boss, so there was no need for her to fight with him. Mr. Gu, what's the matter? Wu Nian asked in a good mood. Yes. Gu Lingqing answered in a low voice and looked at her deeply. It's not convenient to talk here. Come with me. He got up, put his hands in his pockets and walked straight out of the door. What a bad temper. Xiao Nian, don't go, Lu Shuang said unhappily, holding Wu Nian's hand. I'll go and see what's going on. I'll be back in 10 minutes at most, wait for me, Wu Nian replied to Lu Shuang and looked at Alan. Can you wait for me for 10 minutes? Alan nodded with a smile. Call me if you need anything. I'll keep the phone on for you. I will, Wu Nian answered and went out, following Gu Lingqing from afar. He stopped at the green-shaded corridor and looked at the blooming honeysuckle. Wu Nian stood behind him. Do you know what this is called? Gu Lingqing asked. Honeysuckle. There were a lot of them in the orphanage when I was young. The aunt who took care of us said that honeysuckle is a good thing. It can reduce heat, reduce swelling and detoxify the blood. It blooms 4 times from May to October, but it only lasts about a week. Every time it blooms, the aunt in the orphanage would bring us to pick it together. After picking it, she would spread it on the bamboo board to dry. I remember that my gums were swollen once, so the aunt made me some honeysuckle. I drank it for a day, and the swelling went down. The effect was very good. Wu Nian picked up a honeysuckle and played with it in her hand. Gu Lingqing turned around and faced her, looking down at her delicate and flawless face. Bai Yi did grow up in the orphanage, so it was so real. Even her expression was warm and gentle as she reminisced. It was obvious that Bai Yi didn't do the plastic surgery to look good. Maybe it was just to prevent him from recognizing her. But why? Gu Lingqing's heart tightened, but he quickly adjusted it. Alan is an Englishman. You'll have to go back to a country with me eventually. I've said that you need to stay at home at night and can only rest for 4 days a month. Will that hinder your relationship? I will make reasonable arrangements. Alan has business in Country A. He will come to Country A after returning to China and giving the necklace to his grandmother, Wu Nian explained. It sounds like you two are very familiar with each other. You said in the interview that you broke up with your boyfriend. You and Alan didn't just know each other for a few days, did you? Gu Lingqing guessed. Wu Nian smiled. Just as Alan said, some people are just strangers when they meet after knowing each other for 10 years. Some people can be respectful to each other for the rest of their lives after knowing each other for a few days. Fate doesn't matter how long you know each other. It's about the right time, the right place, and the right occasion. The right person. The right time, the right place, the right occasion, and the right person seem to be very difficult. Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Wu Nian nodded and looked down. She and Gu Lingqing couldn't be the right person if they didn't meet at the right time, the right place, and the right occasion. Gu Lingqing saw her looking down and put a honeysuckle in Wu Nian's hair. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. She felt that his posture was too frivolous, so she quickly took it down and looked at him unhappily. However, he continued to observe her with a serious expression, as if he had not done what he had just done. Mr. Gu, if there's nothing else, I'll go back first. My friend and boyfriend are waiting for me. Wu Nian threw the 2 honeysuckle flowers on the ground and clapped her hands. Wait. I still have something important to say. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian took a big step back, lowered her head, and listened respectfully. My family conditions are quite special. I take care of 2 children alone. I often have to go on business trips, socialize, accompany clients, attend meetings, and work overtime. You are the only one at home to take care of the children. What if it conflicts with your date? Gu Lingqing asked. Don't worry, Mr. Gu. I'll arrange the time reasonably. How reasonably? Gu Lingqing asked. Alan's time is free. I can ask him to match my schedule. I still have time after I send the children to school. Wu Nian explained. Gu Lingqing's face darkened a little. He said in a strange tone, You're thinking quite well. I'm a single man. Does your boyfriend agree for you to live at my place? Alan is a magnanimous person. He won't use the heart of a villain to guess others, nor will he use jealousy to drive a wedge between others. He will respect my work. Wu Nian defended Alan. Don't forget that my condition is that you need to take care of my children before my wife comes back. I'll sign a contract with you about this. Alan is a British noble. Even if he agrees with your way of living, his family won't allow it. Are you sure you want to come to my place? This work? Miss Wu is a smart person. Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice, scrutinizing her expression. Wu Nian raised her head and looked at Gu Lingqing. For Mr. Gu, what you need to consider is whether you want to use me or not. I'll solve the other things myself. It has nothing to do with others. Your future is also something I need to consider. I don't want my child to have feelings for you. I don't want you to leave just because you want to get married. That would also hurt my child. What do you think? Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Wu Nian's beautiful eyes were covered with a layer of mist. Why did she feel that Gu Lingqing was forcing her to break up with Alan? Don't worry. Since I've agreed to your condition, I'll naturally fulfill it. At the same time, I hope that Mr. Gu understands that the contract is two-way. Before you get married again, you can't fire me casually. Mr. Gu can also do that, right? Wu Nian countered. Of course. After the contract is signed, what happened now will not happen again. When will you sign the contract with me? Gu Lingqing asked. A week later. After returning to country A, I'll contact Mr. Gu. Gu Lingqing nodded. Then I'll be busy. Wu Nian quickly turned around and walked quickly to the other end of the green path. Gu Lingqing stared at her back until she disappeared. He bent down and picked up the honeysuckle that Wu Nian had thrown away. Honeysuckle, also known as Bingdi lotus, was hermaphrodite and would never separate. Chapter 366. The ship arrived at 11:50 a.m., bringing with it a signal transmitter, a new generator, flowers, a priest, and the police. The police were making statements in the study, and they had Kathy under control. Alan came out of the study, feeling a little down. Wu Nian walked up to him. Are you okay? Xiao Nian, Stephen is my friend. I can't leave for the time being. Are you willing to come down with me? Alan said in a euphemistic tone. Wu Nian nodded. Stephen was likely to be Lu Shuang's business partner. It wasn't appropriate for Lu Shuang to leave at this time. If Lu Shuang didn't leave, she naturally wouldn't leave either. Alan smiled and held Wu Nian's hand. You must be hungry. Let's go eat something first. We might be busy in the afternoon. Okay. Wu Nian turned around. Gu Lingqing was standing behind her, only a few centimeters away. She almost bumped into him. She was shocked and moved back. Why are you feeling guilty? Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. You are standing behind someone without saying a word. Anyone would be scared. What do you mean by feeling guilty? Wu Nian retorted and rolled her eyes at him. Gu Lingqing sneered and didn't reply, as if he didn't care about her at all. His attitude confirmed that she had a guilty conscience. Wu Nian felt like she was suffering in silence. She rolled her eyes at him again. Gu Lingqing didn't look at her. He frowned at Alan. I will stay here tonight. I told Stephen that you and I will keep watch with him. Alan, Wu Nian, I just came to tell you about this. I'm hungry. Let's go eat. Gu Lingqing said and turned to leave. Wu Nian and Alan looked at each other. Both of them had strange expressions. Alan smiled and said meaningfully, he's a very interesting person. Very interesting person? Hee hee. Wu Nian laughed in his heart. Alan had really misjudged him. He was obviously a very domineering person. I had a lot of breakfast. I'm actually not that hungry now. I want to go to the beach to catch crabs. Can you accompany me? Wu Nian said softly. Alan's smile became even brighter. With the bucket, we should be able to catch a lot of crabs and sea urchins. Wu Nian recalled the time when he and Gu Lingqing lived alone on the island. The setting sun, the evening breeze, the beach, the bonfire, the crabs, the fish, and the wild boar meat with bamboo shoots, especially the wild boar meat with bamboo shoots. The thick juice, the tender ribs, and the delicious bamboo shoots mixed together made it extremely delicious. Until now, in her memory, she had never eaten such good food. Thinking of the beauty of that time, the corners of Wu Nian's mouth also rose, adding a layer of feminine gentleness and gentleness. Let's go and catch crabs. I'll go and call Lu Shuang. Looking at her smile, Alan's heart skipped a beat and he held Wu Nian's hand. Wu Nian thought that Alan had something to say to her, so she looked at Alan. Alan pulled her into his arms and picked her up. Why are you? Wu Nian was about to refuse. Alan interrupted with a smile, let's go and catch crabs. After that, he put Wu Nian down. Wu Nian smiled helplessly. Alan was really childish. Let's go. They went to the beach. Alan carried a bucket with 2 small shovels in it. Everyone wore rubber gloves. Crabs felt danger. Those that were close to the sea would run into the sea, and those that were farther away would drill into the sand. Those that ran slower would be caught. Because Stephen had gout, he usually didn't eat seafood. There were a lot of crabs here. Wu Nian thought of the scene where she and Gu Lingqing caught crabs at the beach again. Gu Lingqing put a fishing net at the bottom of the sea and could catch a lot of fish and crabs. Crabs were naturally salty, and the freshly caught ones were especially fresh and delicious. If it weren't for the fact that she was terminally ill, she would be willing to stay on the island with Gu Lingqing and live a peaceful life. However, there were no ifs in the world. Wu Nian caught a crab and looked at it with a silly smile. Let's not go back for lunch at noon. How about we roast the crabs here? Alan asked Wu Nian. Okay, but you have asthma. Stay away from the dust. You continue to look for delicious food later. I'll be in charge of making a fire to roast the crabs. I'll call you when it's done. Division of labor. This is a good arrangement. Alan took out a lighter and handed it to Wu Nian. Thank you. Not at all. It's for the sake of fame. Wu Nian was in a good mood and said with a smile. She asked Lu Shuang to find dry dead wood. She built a circle with stones by the sea. In the middle of the circle was a stone. On both sides of the stone were the dead wood. She lit the fire. She put the crabs on the stone in the middle and pressed them with a long branch. After 5 minutes, she put a crab on it again. After a while, 5 crabs were roasted and placed on the big leaves that Lu Shuang picked. It smells so good. It looks so delicious. I'm hungry. Lu Shuang sat next to Wu Nian and reached out to grab the roasted crabs. Be careful. It's just roasted, so it's very hot. You can eat it when I roast the second batch. The temperature will be just right. Wu Nian reminded him. Lu Shuang lay down apologetically. He looked at the blue sky and white clouds and felt the sea breeze. I'm sorry for living like this. Wu Nian smiled and looked at Lu Shuang. When Gu Lingqing and I were on the island, there were wild boars, wolves, pheasants, wild bamboo shoots, mushrooms, and wild vegetables. Gu Lingqing's pistol could be used, so we weren't afraid of wild animals. It was very safe. We even built a house on a tree near the sea. We weren't afraid even if it rained. We could live here for the rest of our lives. Lu Shuang looked at the smile on Wu Nian's face. She understood why Wu Nian was in such a good mood. It was because she remembered the happy times in the past. She didn't believe that Wu Nian didn't love Gu Lingqing. Lu Shuang grabbed a crab and peeled it in half. Steam came out. Cool girl, isn't it hot? Wu Nian asked worriedly. Lu Shuang put the peeled crab on the leaves and blew on his hot red palm. Xiao Nian, some people's love is like this hot crab. If you don't let go, you'll hurt yourself. It's better to give up. I understand. You silly girl, wait a minute. Wu Nian walked into the forest. After a while, she pulled a cactus and put it on the leaves. She crushed it with a branch and smeared the juice on Lu Shuang's palm. Use aloe vera, cactus, or green tea leaves and sesame oil to treat burns. It's very effective. Wu Nian said to Lu Shuang. That's why many people forget the pain when the scar is healed. Lu Shuang sighed. Wu Nian's eyes flickered slightly. She didn't say anything and focused on roasting the crab. Her thoughts drifted far away. Until someone sat down next to her and a familiar smell came to her nose. Chapter 367. I really miss these days. Gu Lingqing took a crab, peeled it, and blew on it to warm it up. Wu Nian didn't expect him to come suddenly, and he even picked up the crab she roasted so naturally. Her heart was beating so fast that she couldn't control it. She licked her dry lips. She responded, but didn't know what to say. She knew what he meant by that, but people who didn't know him and didn't know that he lived on a deserted island shouldn't be able to understand. She wanted to think like someone who didn't know about his past, but because she was too nervous, her brain seemed to be tied up in a knot, and she couldn't say anything. Gu Lingqing looked at her. She felt his gaze and lowered her head even more, flipping the crab to hide her panic. Gu Lingqing chuckled. Do you know how to treat distilled water? I've learned it in textbooks before. You've never tried it yourself? I've done it in the lab. Wu Nian explained guiltily. She could feel Gu Lingqing's gaze on her face. She was silent, and so was he. But his breath fell on her face, making her feel flustered. This feeling made her feel very uneasy. She looked at him and met his dark eyes. Does Mr. Gu like to look at other people's girlfriends like that? I'm just curious. What are you thinking about? The crab is almost burnt, and you still haven't taken it out, Gu Lingqing said calmly. Wu Nian's face turned red, and she took out the blackened crabs. 2 of them were blackened, and the other 3 were still fine. She used a branch to pick up another crab and put it on a rock. Because it was too close to the fire, she subconsciously retracted her hand. You're so stupid. Let me do it. You sit here and eat the roasted crab, Gu Lingqing said, and took the branch from Wu Nian's hand. She didn't know if it was intentional or not, but he held her hand. Wu Nian felt that the temperature of his palm was hotter than fire. He withdrew his hand defensively. Where's Lu Shuang? Did you see him? She must have gone back to the car to get water and a parasol. The one running over there should be her, Gu Lingqing said while looking to the right. Wu Nian followed his gaze and looked to the right. Sure enough, he saw Lu Shuang running over with a plastic bag. Lu Shuang didn't like Gu Lingqing and had been trying to persuade her to give up on Gu Lingqing. She knew that. This time, when Lu Shuang saw Gu Lingqing, he must be very anxious. She didn't want to deepen the conflict between Gu Lingqing and Lu Shuang. Didn't you say you were going to spend the night with him? Mr. Gu should rest more. I'll go back after I roast these crabs for you. Gu Lingqing said unhurriedly. I've roasted 12 crabs here. Together with the 5 you roasted, it's enough. It'll be a waste if I don't finish them. I'm not roasting them anymore. Wu Nian wanted to ask her to leave. Gu Lingqing looked at her and was slightly displeased. Are you chasing me away? Wu Nian smiled awkwardly. This beach isn't mine. I don't have the right to chase people away. I don't know about the past between Mr. Gu and Baiya, but I know that my friend doesn't like you. Now that my friend is here, it's better to avoid trouble, right? Mr. Gu. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. I also want to know the reason why she doesn't like me. It's better to say it in public than to speculate in private. What do you think? She didn't steal your friend. Wu Nian smiled helplessly. Before Gu Lingqing could answer, Lu Shuang ran over and threw a plastic bag with water and an umbrella at Gu Lingqing's feet. He put his hands on his waist and asked, Gu Lingqing, why are you here? Don't pester my friend. I told you before. Why? Gu Lingqing asked coldly. You've harmed Baiya. Is it not enough for you to harm Wu Nian? Lu Shuang said angrily. I've never harmed Baiya. If I didn't like her, I wouldn't have married her. Even the divorce was planned by her. It wasn't what I wanted, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. He stood up, and his aura suddenly changed with his strength. Since Baiya planned the divorce, it means that she doesn't like you. Why are you still pestering her? If you didn't pester her, she wouldn't have died, Lu Shuang said emotionally. She planned the divorce to save me. It's not that she doesn't like me. Gu Lingqing's eyes also became cold. What's the result of liking you? She lived a more painful life than anyone else. She died in pain. She didn't enjoy any happiness. Gu Lingqing, if you still have a little conscience, let my friend go. She can get happiness, as long as she stays away from you, Lu Shuang shouted. I'm confident that I can give her everything, as long as she trusts me a little more. Gu Lingqing's eyes were red, and he said meaningfully. Cool girl, stop arguing, Wu Nian said in a deep voice. Lu Shuang saw Alan walking over with a bucket. He pursed his lips, crossed his arms, and turned his face away. He was sulking and picked up the sand at his feet. I'm sorry, Mr. Gu. I need to talk to my friend, Wu Nian said politely. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. His eyes were filled with anger. He turned his head and walked towards the dock. Seeing Gu Lingqing leaving, Lu Shuang quickly held Wu Nian's hand and said worriedly, Did Gu Lingqing bully you? Wu Nian shook his head. Cool girl, I'll go to Gu Lingqing's house to be a tutor. We'll see each other all the time in the future. It's not necessary for you to be angry when you see him getting along with me. Can you not go to his house to be a tutor? Alan is quite nice. He's gentle and kind to you. You can be happy again. Lu Shuang tried to persuade him. Will you take Xiao Bao with you when you leave this time? Wu Nian changed the topic. Of course, Lu Shuang said without thinking. What if Xiao Bao can't leave, and you're the only one who can leave? Wu Nian asked again. Then I definitely can't leave. Xiao Bao is my child. I won't feel at ease leaving Xiao Bao with Shen Yiyan, that treacherous villain. Shen Yiyan will definitely teach Xiao Bao bad. Or, after he has his own child, he won't care about Xiao Bao, or he may abuse Xiao Bao. Then Xiao Bao will be too pitiful. Lu Shuang said sadly. Gu Yan is my son. There's a scheming Zhou Hailan by his side. Zhou Hailan's son, Gu Ruoxin, is not easy to deal with. Xiao Yan's stomach is not good because he ate too much spicy food. Zhou Hailan deliberately encouraged me to make spicy food for Xiao Yan. I'm even more worried. Wu Nian said with a red face. She said. Lu Shuang understood. He cried and said, I'm sorry, Xiao Nian. I shouldn't have said that and done that to make things difficult for you. I feel sorry for you. Wu Nian smiled. I know. You're doing it for my own good. She put her arms around Lu Shuang's shoulders and sat down. Come on, have some crabs. It's not hot now. Wu Nian's cell phone rang. She was startled. She took out her cell phone and found it was a strange number. She answered it suspiciously. Chapter 368. Let's keep in touch if fate allows it, Wu Nian said in a low voice. A trace of sadness flashed through her eyes, and there was a faint bitterness lingering in her heart. She was very unfortunate, but compared to Xia He, she seemed to be lucky. At least, she had friends, a lover, and a child. Even if they couldn't be together, they still cared about each other. Xia He was charged with betrayal when he was very young. He couldn't go back to his home, and he couldn't have normal relationships with people. He had to flee with grievances. Therefore, one should never complain about one's situation. One should adapt, change, and work harder to live. Because in a corner of the world, there would always be someone who was worse off than one, but was still working hard to live. Xiao Nian, Xiao Nian. Lu Shuang shouted a few times and pushed Wu Nian. Wu Nian came back to herself. What are you thinking about? You are all meditating, Lu Shuang asked. Su Jiran is here too, Wu Nian said simply. B*TCH. Lu Shuang was full of righteous indignation. Hurry up and show your love to Alan, so that Su Jiran will give up his evil heart. Wu Nian didn't say anything. She took out the 5 crabs that Gu Lingqing roasted and put them on the leaves on her side. Alan also walked to the fire, put down the bucket, and sniffed. It smells so good. My appetite is aroused. Lu Shuang's crabs were roasted first, so they are not so hot. You can eat them now, Wu Nian reminded. Alan sat opposite Wu Nian, grabbed a crab, and peeled the shell. Lu Shuang looked into the bucket and looked at Alan in surprise. How did you find so many sea urchins? There are a lot of them, but I caught all of them. I caught their grandpa, grandma, Grandpa, Grandma, and other children, Alan said jokingly. Wu Nian giggled. Then, should they thank you for reuniting their family? Death is heavier than Mount Tai, but lighter than a goose feather. Since they were able to enter our 5 Viscera temple, it can be said that they died a worthy death. It's worth the emulation of the other sea urchins, Alan said with a smile. Wu Nian's smile widened. Do you have a knife? Of course. Alan took out a Swiss Army knife from his pocket. The blade was sharp, and he cut the sea urchin open, revealing 5 pieces of yellow. While they were chatting, Lu Shuang searched for sea urchins on Baidu. Xiao Nian, Baidu says that sea urchins are poisonous during reproduction. The poisonous sea urchins are brighter in color, and most of them are in the tropics. The ones I caught are all poisonous, so you can rest assured and use them. Alan guaranteed. It says that sea urchins have the effect of strengthening EQ, boosting sex drive, nourishing the heart, strengthening the bones, and enriching the blood. It's good for men's health, but if they eat too much. Lu Shuang stopped talking and looked at Wu Nian ambiguously. Wu Nian understood what Lu Shuang meant. She and Gu Lingqing also ate raw sea urchins at the seaside. As a result, Gu Lingqing's testosterone obviously increased. Let's roast them. We don't have mustard or anything like that here. If we eat them raw, we may eat a lot of marine bacteria. Wu Nian grabbed a few and put them on the stone slab. Alan smiled and did not stop her. Did Mr. Gu come just now? Why did he leave so soon? Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. Before she could say anything, Lu Shuang explained, he was just a passerby. He stayed for a while and then left. Alan answered. He was very self-restrained and did not stare at this problem. He talked about everything under the sun. Most of what he talked about was what he had seen around the world, such as the Great Wall of China, the geisha in Japan, the grasslands in Africa, the pyramids in Egypt, the Bermuda Triangle, the Aurora Borealis, the sacrificial platform in Yama, and so on. Alan was very eloquent and had a lot of knowledge. What he said made people feel wonderful, mysterious, magical, curious, and yearning. You have been to so many places at such a young age? Lu Shuang said enviously. When I was in college, I would travel to 2 places every year and stay in each place for a month. Now I still keep the habit of going to 2 places every year for a month. I want to go to 100 magical places in the world in my lifetime, Alan said in a gentlemanly manner. He looked at Wu Nian with sparkling eyes. In the future, I don't have to travel alone. Lu Shuang heard Alan's hint and looked at Wu Nian with a smile. Wu Nian flipped the hair on the side of his face and looked at Alan. Some people like to travel, some like to exercise, and some like to play games. I like to stay at family banquets. Wu Nian changed the topic with little effort. There is no banquet in the world that lasts forever. In the end, the music will come to an end and people will leave. After the excitement, it will be even more lonely, Alan sighed. Because of the loneliness, I look forward to the arrival of the banquet. Wu Nian smiled. His eyes were curved, more like a stream under the moonlight, reflecting the light and twinkling. Alan also smiled. There were many sceneries in the world that were worth seeing. But so far, there was no place that he wanted to go twice. After experiencing it, he would keep moving forward. If he had to use a kind of scenery to describe Wu Nian, it would be an illusory world. In the illusory world, he could see all kinds of strange and dazzling sceneries. It was too beautiful to take in, and he would never get tired of looking at it. She was the scenery that he wanted to see again and again. Alan stood up and leaned over to Wu Nian. He kissed Wu Nian's forehead and said softly, I'm willing to set up a family banquet for you once a week. This is a promise, not empty words. Wu Nian looked at him. There was a hint of softness in his deep eyes. Seeing this, Lu Shuang quietly stood up and left in a hurry to give the 2 of them some space to be alone. Wu Nian saw Lu Shuang leave from the corner of his eyes. He turned and looked at Lu Shuang's back. Alan sat down on the seat that Lu Shuang sat on before. He also looked at Lu Shuang's back and asked, "Her relationship with Mr. Gu is not ordinary, right? They used to be a couple?" Wu Nian, no, they knew each other before. Wu Nian explained. Every time they meet, they are at daggers drawn. They are like quarrelsome lovers. When they look at each other, there is a kind of hormone that can be observed by others. In fact, Mr. Gu has been deliberately giving in to her. Alan judged. Really? Ha. Wu Nian laughed and did not say anything more. She looked at the sea in the distance and enjoyed the peace and tranquility at this moment. Alan approached her slowly and put his hand on her shoulder. He exerted a little force and let her lean on his shoulder. "I say, why is Gu Lingqing so kind to tell me that you are on the beach? This scene is really too beautiful to look at," Su Jiran said coldly. He walked over casually and stared at Wu Nian with sharp eyes. Wu Nian did not know why Su Jiran was so angry. After she changed her identity, she was not familiar with him. "If you don't dare to look at me, you can choose not to look at me. If you don't dare to look at me, why did you walk in? Should I say that Mr. Su is a bitch?" Wu Nian said bluntly. Chapter 369. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. On the surface, she still looked at Su Jiran calmly. She couldn't panic. It was impossible for Su Jiran to know that she was Baiya. All of her surgeries were done in Shen Yi's secret base. Su Jiran couldn't find her at all. "Mr. Su, you must have mistaken me for someone else." "I didn't undergo plastic surgery," Wu Nian replied. The corners of her mouth curled up slightly, but it was unusually distant and indifferent. Su Jiran sat down on the other side of Wu Nian. He looked at her and gritted his teeth. "Shen Yi told me everything. Do you think it's necessary to keep pretending? I'm curious. What did Mr. Shen tell you?" Wu Nian looked straight at him. She couldn't feel guilty. If she did, she would give herself away and waste all her previous efforts. "He was the one who saved you back then. He took away my technical backbone and developed the antidote to save you. You even asked for plastic surgery because you wanted to take care of your son, Gu Yan," Su Jiran said with certainty. Wu Nian narrowed her eyes. "Developed the antidote to save me? What do you mean?" Su Jiran paused. He looked at Wu Nian's expression and frowned. "Did you lose your memory or hypnotize yourself?" Wu Nian rolled her eyes. It seemed that Shen Yi didn't tell him anything. It was all his own speculation. "I didn't lose my memory or hypnotize myself. I clearly remember everything in my life," Wu Nian said confidently. "Mr. Su, you really mistook me for someone else. Then why did you go to Gu Lingqing's side?" Su Jiran asked. "That's my business. I don't have to report it to you," Wu Nian said coldly. She stood up and looked at Alan. Her eyes softened. "Let's go. You're really not Baiya." Su Jiran didn't believe her. "It's up to you to believe it or not." Wu Nian took the initiative to hold Alan's arm. "Can you swear?" "If you lie, you will never be able to be with Gu Lingqing," Su Jiran chased after Wu Nian and said. Wu Nian raised his hand in frustration and placed it on the side of his face. "I swear, I'm not Baiya. If I lie, I'll never be able to be with Gu Lingqing." Wu Nian put down his hand. "Is this okay? I hope Mr. Su will not pester me anymore. This will affect my relationship with my boyfriend." Su Jiran's gaze fell on Alan's face, and his eyes dimmed. Baiya was a stubborn woman. When she loved Gu Lingqing, there was no other man in her eyes. She would not swear against her conscience. She was not good at lying. Perhaps she really wasn't Baiya, and his probing was completely useless. Su Jiran sat alone on the beach with a heavy heart. "Baiya, where are you?" When he found her, he only wanted to make it up to her and not hurt her anymore. Wu Nian and Alan returned to the car, where Lu Shuang was waiting for them. Wu Nian realized that Alan had a really high EQ. Even if he cared about some things, he would not ask if it would burden others or make them unhappy. It was easy to get along with people like him, but he was not stupid. Not asking didn't mean that he didn't know. He had a sharp insight and a wise brain. Everything would sink into his brain until his brain decided that it was time to end. He would end it without hesitation, ignoring the other party's persuasion to stay. And it was easy for a woman to fall in love with someone like him. Because of his good upbringing, tolerance, and gentleness, it was not easy for a girl to find a boyfriend after a breakup. Because the starting point was too high, it was difficult for a man to achieve it with him as the standard. Lu Shuang sat in the back seat. He looked at Alan's expression. He was always smiling. He then looked at Wu Nian's expression. She was also very calm. The more I look at you, the more compatible you two are. Lu Shuang sighed. Wu Nian didn't say anything. He looked out the window. The sunlight was just right. It passed through the gaps between the leaves, forming mottled spots of light that moved with the wind. Soon, they arrived at the entrance of Stephen's villa. Wu Nian saw some people rolling a wooden boat. What are they doing? Lu Shuang asked, confused. I think they are preparing for a sea burial, Alan explained. They stepped into the room together. Lu Sha and Olga were lying on the table quietly, as if they were sleeping peacefully. Flowers were placed around them, and sad music was playing. Stephen looked at his children calmly. Wu Nian walked up and stood beside Stephen. For Christians, there is no death, only eternal happiness. For Buddhists, death is in this world. After atoning for one's sins, one can attain Tao, become an immortal, or enter the cycle of reincarnation. Stephen looked at Wu Nian and said, they were still alive and kicking yesterday, but today they are lying here motionless. After tomorrow, we will never see them again. We always hurt the people closest to us. Because we can only hurt those who truly care about us. Why do we have to destroy ourselves, give up, and be sad and miserable to hurt those who love us? Wu Nian said in a deep voice and looked at Stephen. Stephen looked at Wu Nian with reddened eyes. Wu Nian smiled. You should try your best to be happy. Don't let your children worry. Maybe you should find a wife and have a child. Make your life busy and meaningful. When you die, you can recall the past and remember what happened every day. My daughters don't want me. Why would they worry about me? Stephen said sadly. They don't want you anymore. Why should you feel sad for those who don't want you? Taking care of your health is the most important thing. You still have to keep watch tonight. I think you should rest for a while now, Wu Nian suggested. Stephen nodded. I'm really tired. By the way, I have placed the painting you saw on the ship. When you leave tomorrow, my butler will give it to you. Thank you, Mr. Stephen. I should be the one thanking you. You cleared my son's name and found the murderer of my daughters. Stephen yawned. I'm tired. I'll take a nap. What night watch? They didn't want to see me when they were alive. They don't want to see me even more when they are dead. He walked away. Lu Shuang tilted his head and looked at Stephen's back. He is really a strange old man. His words are like rain and wind. Only he knows how sad he is. I'm a little sleepy too. I'll take a shower and then go to the study to sleep, Wu Nian said tiredly. Okay. I'll accompany you, Lu Shuang said readily. Wu Nian nodded. I need to borrow someone's room. Help me guard the door. Lu Shuang made an okay gesture. Wu Nian carried his clothes and knocked on Stephen's door. Hello. Can I borrow a room with a bathroom to take a shower? Stephen pointed at the one near the stairs. Thank you. Wu Nian and Lu Shuang went in. Chapter 370. Why? Gu Lingqing asked in a deep voice. Just do what I tell you to do. I'll leave the room key on the doorknob. Don't blame me if you miss this opportunity, Stephen said and hung up the phone. Gu Lingqing frowned and bent his arm. He glanced at the watch on his wrist and went upstairs. Stephen walked to the door of the room he stayed in before and knocked. It was Lu Shuang who opened the door. Can you do me a favor? Stephen asked. Oh, sure, but you have to wait for me for 10 minutes, Lu Shuang said straightforwardly. Stephen looked troubled. To tell you the truth, one of my maids ran away and I need to change my daughter's clothes. There's only one maid and she can't do it alone. We're men. If you don't want to help, I'll think of another way. It's my duty, Lu Shuang agreed. Then follow me. Stephen turned around. Lu Shuang looked inside and then at Stephen. He locked the door and closed it. With a thud, Stephen was shocked. He came back to his senses and pushed the door open. He pretended to be surprised and looked at Lu Shuang. Why did you lock the door? Xiao Nian is taking a shower inside, Lu Shuang explained. Oh, right. Let's go. Stephen pointed to the front. Lu Shuang turned around and Stephen followed closely behind. A key was hung on the door. Gu Lingqing knew what Stephen was up to. He took the key and opened the door. He didn't go in but stood at the door and lit a cigarette. He held the cigarette with his slender fingers and took a deep puff. He exhaled thick smoke and the smoke blurred his cold and resolute face. Cool girl, Wu Nian shouted from inside. Gu Lingqing turned around and stood at the door, looking at her in the mist. Wu Niangang came out of the shower. Her hair was still wet. She dried her hair with a dry towel and wore a white dress. The water at the ends of her hair dripped on her shoulders, back, and chest. Her hair became transparent. Gu Lingqing thought of the young girl in the misty rain in Jiangnan. Her eyes were as clear as water and her skin was as smooth as jade. He couldn't help but be fascinated by her. Wu Nian saw Gu Lingqing instead of Lu Shuang. His passionate eyes made her feel hot. Is this the room you stayed in before? Gu Lingqing pursed his lips and nodded. His eyes were still focused on her face. Wu Nian felt uneasy. Sorry, I borrowed your room to take a shower. Did you see my friend? You and your friend can stay in this room today. She was called over by Stephen. His daughter needs someone to change, Gu Lingqing said. Oh, I'll go and help. Wu Nian wanted to run away. She hugged her clothes and rushed out. Wait. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian stopped in her tracks. She took a deep breath and turned to look at him. He was holding a piece of her clothes in his hand. She had left in a hurry just now and didn't even know she had dropped it. Wu Nian reached for her clothes awkwardly. Gu Lingqing retracted his hand. Wu Nian didn't get it. She paused in disbelief. Her almond-shaped eyes widened as she looked at him. Gu Lingqing placed the clothes in her hand and said meaningfully, You're always forgetting things. It's okay if you lost your clothes. You just have to buy more. Don't lose anything important. I didn't. Wu Nian retorted. She thought for a moment and added, I just don't think it's good if my boyfriend sees it. Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened. What are you thinking? You don't think it's good if your boyfriend sees it. Wu Nian, she didn't want to talk to him anymore. Gu Lingqing was usually a man of few words. But when he spoke, it was hard to resist. She wasn't his match every single time. What I think isn't important. What's important is what others will think. Wu Nian said. She didn't give him a chance to speak and ran away. Gu Lingqing looked at her back view and his gaze deepened. Wu Nian went downstairs. Stephen was shocked to see her. I'm here to help. Where's Lu Shuang? Wu Nian asked. Stephen pointed to the room downstairs. Wu Nian went in to help. When Stephen saw Gu Lingqing, he ran over immediately. Are you stupid? I created an opportunity for you. Why did you let him out so quickly? You should pretend to be locked inside so that you can continue to be alone. That's a little low, Gu Lingqing replied coolly. Stephen looked like he suddenly realized something. Now I know why you're still single. How can you get a woman if you don't have some tricks up your sleeve? Who said I'm single? Gu Lingqing looked at Stephen from the corner of his eye. His gaze was calm but serious. He didn't seem to be joking. Stephen was shocked. Are you trying to cheat on me? That's not good. I won't help you chase Miss Wu anymore. There aren't two boats. It's just that my boat has lost its direction. I don't know which way is back. I'll solve my own problem. Thanks, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He walked past Stephen. Stephen was stunned. He knew that there was a woman in Gu Lingqing's heart. Because of this woman, he wasn't interested in any other women. He didn't even look at them. Those who didn't know him would say that he had high standards. Those who knew him would know that he was loyal. But why would the infatuated Gu Lingqing be interested in Wu Nian? Just where did it go wrong? Stephen didn't call for his relatives or friends. Perhaps in his eyes, his daughter's deaths weren't honorable. They wouldn't be the laughing stock of the upper class if they didn't make a sound. The police took Kathy away. Her boyfriend left with the police. At night, she and Lu Shuang stayed in the room that Gu Lingqing used to stay in. When she walked past the living room, she saw Gu Lingqing, Alan, Stephen and Su Jiran playing cards. The four of them were sitting at a table. Something didn't feel right. Su Jiran looked at her and smirked. Miss Wu, let's play a few cards. If you win, it's on you. If you lose, it's on me. Even if you agree, Mr. Gu and Mr. Stephen won't agree. Am I right, Alan? Wu Nian looked at Alan gently with a hint of playfulness. If they agree, I'm fine with it. Don't worry, I'll let you win on purpose, Alan said straightforwardly. Then let Miss Wu play for you for a while. What do you think? Stephen said to Alan. Alan looked at Wu Nian lovingly. Do you want to play? Come here. I don't know how to play. I'll definitely lose a lot of money. Wu Nian didn't want to go over. She felt that it was the center of a storm. Your man can afford to lose. If you don't know how to play, I'll teach you. Alan stood up, held Wu Nian's hand and pulled her over. Wu Nian. Chapter 371. If she was going to die, wouldn't she admit that she was Baya? Wu Nian bit the bullet and sat across from Su Jiran, on the left of Gu Lingqing. We're here for a 5-card stud. Do you know the rules? Stephen asked kindly. Yes. I don't really know, Wu Nian laughed dryly. It's okay. We don't really know. $10 for our hand. Every call, at least $10. There's no upper limit, Stephen said sneakily. Wu Nian knew it wasn't a small game when he said no upper limit. However, she actually had an advantage. In a 5-card stud, apart from luck, it was also a psychological game. I hope everyone can go easy on me, Wu Nian said. Ha 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 ha. Stephen laughed wildly and started to deal. Wu Nian didn't look at her hand. She had an ace on her face, a king on Gu Lingqing, a j on Su Jiran, and a king on Stephen's face. They didn't have many people, so they removed 123,456 cards, leaving only 78,910 JQKA. Every time Wu Nian called, she would call the lowest. In the end, Wu Nian's 4 cards were AQJ10, and Gu Lingqing's was KKQQ. Stephen didn't have a good hand, so he gave up on the 3rd card. His 3 cards were 10. 7. Q. Su Jiran's card was K. 101010. Wu Nian took a look at his trump card and put it down without a change in expression. 3 tens, talk, Stephen said. Both of you have a king. One of you has a king, and the other doesn't have a king. I'll bet 10,000, but I don't have that much cash with me. Can I use a check? Su Jiran asked. Don't use a check. Transfer $100,000 to my account. I have cash here, Stephen said. Sure. Su Jiran entered his private bank and transferred $100,000 to Stephen. Stephen received it and went to get the money. Gu Lingqing closed the cards. Wu Nian smiled slightly. Does Mr. Su think $100,000 is enough? I'll take $1 million. Su Jiran paused for a moment and stared at Wu Nian. There are already 3 kings on the surface. Are you sure you want to play that many? Mr. Su can doubt that my trump card is not K. Just give me $1 million. Wu Nian said calmly. Su Jiran furrowed his brows and glanced at Wu Nian before turning to look at Alan. Alan smiled gently, and there was nothing strange on his face. Are you sure you can let your girlfriend do this? Su Jiran asked Alan. I can afford to lose, as long as she's happy, Alan said dotingly. Gu Lingqing looked at Alan coldly. Her seemingly calm eyes hid a storm. She retracted her gaze and her face became clearer. Su Jiran smiled evilly and closed the cards. He looked at Wu Nian and said, You're a girl. I don't want to scare you. You win the first deck. Thank you. Wu Nian showed Su Jiran her trump card. It was only an 8. Su Jiran sneered. Stephen came over and saw that everyone had closed the cards. He asked curiously, Who won? Wu Nian, what's your trump card? 8, amazing. Women are not inferior to men, Stephen praised. Su Jiran threw a stack of cards to Wu Nian. You're willing to bet and you're willing to lose. The second deck, the third deck, and the fourth deck. Wu Nian's cards were not good. She closed the cards on the third deck. She watched as their funds flowed on the table. None of the cards were less than 10,000. The fifth deck. After 5 cards, Wu Nian's card was JQ910, Gu Lingqing's was 10 and 8203 QJK, Su Jiran's was 88 KK, and Stephen stopped following when she had 2 cards. It was 8K. Su Jiran said, 10,000. Gu Lingqing closed the cards. Wu Nian looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing looked back at her. His eyes were dark and deep. She felt that Gu Lingqing was deliberately letting her win. Every time she followed, he would stop. When she stopped, she saw him playing with a murderous aura. 1 million, Wu Nian said. Su Jiran frowned. You're playing with your own money? Wu Nian smirked. To you, you're playing with your own money. To me, it has nothing to do with me if I lose. If I win, it's mine. Tell me, am I playing for real? A look of disgust flashed past Su Jiran's eyes as she looked at Alan. Alan shrugged. The woman I like is indeed very smart. Su Jiran smirked. 1 million, I'll open you. Wu Nian flipped over her hand. It was a straight with 8, 89, 10 JQ, while Su Jiran only had 2 pairs. She lost. Su Jiran smiled. Beautifully won. I'll transfer the money to you directly. Give me your account number. My phone number is. Su Jiran used the cards to lay out a series of numbers on the table. Wu Nian did not stand on ceremony. She directly sent Lu Shuang's account number to him. When Su Jiran transferred the money, he saw that it was Lu Shuang's name. He frowned and looked at her. Send it to her. We're very close, Wu Nian explained. Su Jiran pursed her lips, transferred the money, and showed the text to Wu Nian. Alan, I don't want to play anymore. I'm a little sleepy. Wu Nian turned her head and said to Alan. Alan kissed her forehead. Go and rest. Good night. Wu Nian kissed Alan's forehead too. Good night, darling. Su Jiran frowned even more. The more he interacted with Wu Nian, the more he realized that she was not Baiya. He looked at Gu Lingqing from head to toe. Gu Lingqing looked down. His expression did not change even if Mount Tai collapsed in front of him. It was as if the surrounding environment had nothing to do with him. He was cold and indifferent. Su Jiran's heart gradually turned cold. He tried again and again. In the end, the answer was not what he wanted again and again. When Wu Nian returned to the room, Lu Shuang was looking at the text message on his phone in surprise. Xiao Nian, it's so strange. I suddenly have $1 million in my bank account. What should I do? Should I go to the bank and return it to the owner? That's the gift I won just now. You'll need a lot of money in the future when you go to country D. You want it? I don't need it. Shen Yiyan just gave me $10 million. I'm not short of money. You should keep it with you. You can't be a doctor, let alone a psychologist. Your income is low, and you can't use the money you used before. The more Lu Shuang said, the more worried he became. I'll be a home tutor in Gu Lingqing's family in the future. I don't have any expenses. Forget it. Gu Lingqing is a very unpredictable person. Maybe you'll be fired again soon. I was going to leave you $2 million when I left. Wu Nian held Lu Shuang's hand and said with certainty, I won't be fired this time. I promise. There was a bang outside. Wu Nian and Lu Shuang were both shocked. What's going on? Did Stephen set off the firecrackers? Lu Shuang asked in confusion. Wu Nian had a bad feeling. She was playing cards with Stephen just now, and it didn't seem like Stephen set off the firecrackers. She opened the door and looked at the door. Chapter 372. Find the person in the photo and kill the rest. The leader ordered fiercely. Wu Nian's heart tightened. She saw 10 masked men running upstairs. She had a rough idea. Those people were either looking for her or Lu Shuang. Then, the rest would be in danger. She looked at Gu Lingqing subconsciously. Her eyes were filled with worry and heartache. Gu Lingqing took a step forward as fast as lightning. He snatched the gun from the leader's hand and aimed it at the leader's head. Tell your men to leave. Otherwise, I'll blow your head off. The leader of the group looked at Gu Lingqing maliciously and roared, kill him. As soon as he gave the order, his men opened fire. Wu Nian locked the door. Xiao Nian, what happened outside? Lu Shuang asked worriedly. I don't have time to explain. Help me push the cabinet against the door, Wu Nian said anxiously and went to move the cabinet. Lu Shuang immediately went to help. Wu Nian rushed to the window and looked outside. It's not high here. It should be fine to jump down with a quilt. Cool girl, you jump first. Why? Lu Shuang didn't understand. Bang, bang, bang. The sound of knocking on the door was getting louder and louder. Jump, Wu Nian said anxiously. She took the quilt and wrapped it around Lu Shuang's body. Lu Shuang jumped out of the window. She quickly wrapped herself in the quilt and jumped down without hesitation. After rolling on the ground and standing up, she held Lu Shuang's hand and ran forward. Xiao Nian, what happened? Even if I die, I want to die knowing why. Lu Shuang said worriedly. I don't know. Suddenly, dozens of people rushed in and shot with machine guns. Wu Nian said in a deep voice. Then Gu Lingqing. Lu Shuang's heart skipped a beat. Looking at Wu Nian's serious face, he didn't continue. Wu Nian pulled Lu Shuang to the back of the villa and had her hide behind the Boston ivy. No matter what happens, don't come out, okay? Lu Shuang held Wu Nian's hand and asked with red eyes, where are you going? Nothing can happen to you. Xiao Bao is still waiting for you. If both Gu Lingqing and I die, please take care of Xiao Yan, Wu Nian said. Lu Shuang's tears flowed out instantly. Death, this word, was too cruel. Don't go, Lu Shuang begged. Remember to hide. You are the hope of all of us. Wu Nian peeled off Lu Shuang's hand and resolutely disappeared into the darkness. The gunshots in the living room were getting more and more intense. After Gu Lingqing grabbed the gun, the leader's men directly killed the leader. After Gu Lingqing killed a few masked men, they used force to suppress them. Dozens of submachine guns were aimed at Gu Lingqing. The sofa that Gu Lingqing was hiding on was already full of holes. The leader was used as a meat shield, so there were probably hundreds of holes on his body. The group of people stood in an airtight formation and moved forward inch by inch. They were well trained. The others were also in danger and couldn't move. Once they showed their heads, they would definitely be shot into a hornet's nest. The masked men also brought guns and cannons, which were hundreds of times more lethal than submachine guns. The sofa, the table, and the wall couldn't withstand it. Seeing that they were all going to be wiped out, a car rushed in and hit the people holding the guns and cannons. The position of the muzzle was deviated, and the bullets hit the upper floor. The wall upstairs was penetrated, and the stones fell down. Wu Nian drove the car and continued to rush in. The masked men fled in all directions and were washed out of the formation. Gu Lingqing rolled back, got the gun, and bombarded the enemies. Wu Nian stepped back. A bullet came in from the side window, broke the window, and shot into Wu Nian's shoulder. She groaned, continued to step back, and rushed in again. Gu Lingqing saw the right time and fired again. In just 5 minutes, there were only 5 or 6 of the more than 20 masked men left, and they were running in all directions. When Wu Nian stepped back again, a masked man jumped in front of the car, aimed at her head, and shot. Wu Nian leaned on the steering wheel vigilantly. The bullet passed through the top of her head, and the window was broken. The masked man aimed at Wu Nian's head and fired the second shot. Seeing this, Gu Lingqing couldn't bear the danger and threw the gun at the masked man. The masked man's head was hit, and he fell to the ground. Gu Lingqing was worried about Wu Nian, and she was confused. She ran towards Wu Nian. The masked man on the ground didn't faint. He raised the gun and aimed it at Gu Lingqing's head. With a thud, Gu Lingqing turned around subconsciously. The masked man on the ground was killed. He looked in the direction of the bullet. Alan raised the gun and smiled at him. Gu Lingqing nodded sharply, rushed to the car, opened the door, and saw Wu Nian's right arm was dyed red with blood. He shouted in distress, "Wu Nian!" Wu Nian heard Gu Lingqing's voice. He looked up, and his face was pale. He forced himself to pull himself together. "I'm fine. Squat down." Gu Lingqing used a commanding tone, picked up the masked man's gun on the ground, and rushed in. Bang! 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 The people inside stood facing each other. Su Jiran killed a masked man. Gu Lingqing directly rushed in and killed 2 of them. Keep the last one alive. Su Jiran slowly moved the gun to Gu Lingqing. He squinted his eyes, and a cold light burst out. It was malicious and resentful, and murderous. Alan saw something strange. He looked at Su Jiran in surprise. The position of the gun also changed, and it was aimed at Su Jiran's arm. He even turned on the infrared. Su Jiran saw a red dot on his hand, and he swept a sharp glance at Alan. There was a flash of displeasure in his eyes. Alan still smiled with great self-restraint. The masked man took the opportunity to aim at Gu Lingqing, who was exposed in the middle of the living room. Gu Lingqing was vigilant, and the gun was also aimed at the masked man. The masked man frowned. He knew he couldn't run away, so he pointed the gun at his temple and shot. He died on the spot. Gu Lingqing threw the gun away and went back to the car. He carried Wu Nian out and shouted nervously, "Where's Lu Shuang?" "The medical kit." Alan also ran to Wu Nian, "Xiao Nian. Is the crisis over?" Wu Nian asked Alan weakly because he had lost a lot of blood. "The enemies have all been annihilated." "The crisis is over," Alan said with a distressed tone. "Lu Shuang is behind the ivy outside the villa. Take care of her. She has never encountered something like this before," Wu Nian said softly. You seem to encounter it often. You're the only one who got hurt. Alan's words were self-blaming, but his tone was doting. Wu Nian smiled and said jokingly, I did it on purpose. Otherwise, how could I make you care about me? Wu Nian felt the force on her waist increase. She pursed her lips and looked at Gu Lingqing. He didn't look at her directly, as if he didn't do it on purpose. He walked into the room, put her on the bed, and looked down at her. You need to hurt yourself in exchange for his care. Do you really need this kind of care? I'm joking. Even if I wasn't hurt, he would still care about me, Wu Nian explained. Chapter 373. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat and her breathing became nervous. She explained, in fact, I didn't mean to get hurt. I didn't see anyone shooting at me. I'm not stupid. Then don't do stupid things. Why did you risk your life to come back? Gu Lingqing gritted his teeth. His eyes were red and his suppressed emotions were about to explode. God knew how scared he was when he saw that it was her who rushed in. His mind went blank for a moment. Wu Nian lowered her eyes. Her long eyelashes covered the emotions in her eyes. Why did she risk her life to come back? She and Lu Shuang could have run away. I don't want to hear it. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He stood up and looked down at her. He knew that her answer would not be what he wanted to hear. He turned around coldly and walked out of the door. He stood under the old locust tree and lit a cigarette. His hands were trembling because of the fear. He took a deep puff and the thick smoke came out. It took him so much effort to find her. Can I borrow a cigarette? Stephen walked to Gu Lingqing's side without him noticing. Gu Lingqing gave Stephen a cigarette. Stephen lit it and took a puff. He looked at Gu Lingqing in the smoke. I haven't painted for 10 years. Do you know why? Gu Lingqing looked at Stephen. I don't have any inspiration. Or perhaps, I don't need to express my emotions through painting. My emotions are worn away with time. Bingo, no one knows me better than you. You're absolutely right. Life is easy and plain. Even if I rack my brains, I can't draw anything that has life in it. Even if I do draw, I'll just tear it up and not draw at all. But now, I have the urge to draw again. Stephen sighed. Because of the accident? Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. It is one of the reasons. In the gunfight just now, I felt like I was dead. I thought I was going to die when I came back to life. I saw that girl's determined eyes. She was not afraid of death, but she was afraid of other people dying. Stephen recalled. Gu Lingqing knew that the girl he was talking about was Wu Nian. Thinking of how Wu Nian was unafraid of death, he felt a dull pain in his heart. He turned his face away. Childish and ignorant. If it wasn't for her, we would all be dead. Don't be angry at her. Not many people have her courage. In other words, she and her friends could have escaped, but she came back to save us. Doesn't that mean that there are people among us who she thinks are more important than her? Stephen comforted. Gu Lingqing looked at Stephen deeply and saw Alan coming with Lu Shuang from the corner of his eyes. He asked solemnly, Is the first aid kit ready? Did you call the police? The ship is ready. Everything is ready. Let's go in and see her. Before Stephen could finish his words, he saw Gu Lingqing walk in. Lu Shuang ran to Wu Nian. When he saw the blood on Wu Nian's arm and clothes, tears rushed out of his eyes. He knelt on the ground in front of the bed and begged, Xiao Nian, don't die. Wu Nian was just resting with her eyes closed. When she opened her eyes, she said to Wu Nian, Don't be afraid. I won't die. It's not a fatal injury. It's just my arm. Just take out the bullet. I will recover in a week. Don't cry. Okay, I'll do it now. I remember there's anesthetic. Lu Shuang found the anesthetic from the first aid kit. My right arm is injured. Use the anesthetic method of brachial plexus block, Wu Nian reminded him. Lu Shuang nodded and injected the anesthetic. It took 1 minute to anesthetize the arm. Lu Shuang untied Wu Nian's sleeve and washed it with disinfectant while tears flowed down his face. Don't cry. It's useless to cry, Wu Nian said in a deep voice. He used his left hand to wipe Lu Shuang's tears. Lu Shuang sniffled. Just now, Su Jiran said that the photos found in those people's hands are mine. Those people are here to target me. If it weren't for me, you guys would be fine. All the karma didn't start with you, and it won't end with you. In the end, you are just an innocent person. These people are organized and disciplined. You can't provoke them. Do you understand? Wu Nian comforted him. Lu Shuang nodded and wiped his tears with a napkin. He pressed Wu Nian's arm a few times and asked, "Can you still feel it?" Wu Nian shook her head. Lu Shuang took the bullet out of her arm. He treated the wound, bandaged it, and applied some medicine. Are we leaving now? You still have to go to the hospital. It won't be good if you have a fever at night. Lu Shuang reminded her. Master, is it convenient for you to go to the sea at night? If it's not convenient, don't force me, Wu Nian said politely. I'll ask. Lu Shuang went out to look for Stephen. Stephen was still smoking under the old locust tree. Well, although my friend had the operation, I'm worried that she will have a fever. Can you send us back at night? Lu Shuang asked politely. Of course. I'll arrange a car to send you to the dock now, Stephen said readily. Also, it's all because of me that you almost died. I'll pay for your losses here. Lu Shuang said apologetically. Forget it. I have the money. See you on Saturday night, Stephen said in a deep voice. See you on Saturday night, Lu Shuang replied. When Lu Shuang went back, Gu Lingqing was still standing at the door. He looked at the two people in the room with a secretive look. He pursed his lips, and his eyes were gloomy. Alan held Wu Nian's left hand and said pitifully, "You saved my life again. We're in the same boat. It's not really a rescue." Wu Nian's voice was gentle like warm water. Alan looked at her with a burning gaze. He lowered his head and kissed her forehead. "You're my hero." Hero. Alan actually used this word to describe her. He felt weird. Alan smiled gently. "I'm staying here today. You and Lu Shuang leave first. Keep in touch by phone. I'll look for you tomorrow. I have something to give you." Wu Nian nodded. "Keep in touch by phone." Lu Shuang walked past Gu Lingqing and said to Wu Nian, "Mr. Stephen said we can go." Okay. Wu Nian got off the bed by herself. Alan carried Wu Nian and walked outside. Gu Lingqing looked at the three of them passing by and said in a deep voice, "The people who came are from an organization called Formless. The big boss behind the organization should be Sheniyan." Lu Shuang looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. "You're saying that Sheniyan sent people to catch me and kill you? How is that possible? Did Sheniyan ask me to facilitate this cooperation? I can only tell you this. Whether it was Sheniyan who sent people or Sheniyan's men who decided to do it themselves, I don't know," Gu Lingqing said coldly. Chapter 374. As soon as the photo was sent, Shen Yiyan called. "What's going on?" Shen Yiyan asked sharply. "What's going on? Shouldn't you know it better than me?" "Shen Yiyan, if you don't like me, you can ask me to get lost. I promise I'll go far away and won't annoy you in front of young Master Shen. It's fine if you send people to arrest me, but why did you kill my friend?" Lu Shuang questioned anxiously. "I'll give you an explanation. I will give you an explanation for this matter." Shen Yiyan hung up the phone after he finished speaking. Wu Nian looked at her and analyzed, the possibility of Shen Yiyan doing it is low. It might be one of his subordinates. Lu Shuang's eyes turned red. She looked at Wu Nian and said, "He's the boss of that organization, and his subordinate wants to kill me. Even if it's not Shen Yiyan, it must be Shen Yiyan's connivance. Otherwise, how would they dare to do it? He's the president of country Shuangmiao. It's not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2 in this world," Wu Nian said sincerely. "I'm leaving." Lu Shuang's eyes were filled with tears. She walked away without saying anything because she and Wu Nian weren't the only ones here. Wu Nian understood what she meant by, "I'm leaving." For the past 2 years, Lu Shuang had been wronged by Shen Yiyan's side. She wasn't willing to go to Shen Yiyan's side, but this incident only strengthened her determination to leave. Moreover, she supported Lu Shuang's departure. Since the assassination had started, it wouldn't end. It was too dangerous for a pure girl like Shuangmiao to stay by Shen Yiyan's side. Alan placed Wu Nian on the sofa and said, "You'll reach the shore after midnight. I still have a few friends in City X. I'll get them to pick you up and send you back. I'm worried about you two girls." Wu Nian shook his head. "You don't have to trouble your friend. I'll call someone to pick you up. It'll be very safe. Don't worry. It's not troublesome, it's what I should do. You're my girlfriend, give me a chance to take care of you," Alan said softly. "I'm not rejecting you. I think you probably know cool girl's identity. The fewer people who know her identity, the better. There will be someone specially coming to pick us up. When we arrive, I'll call you to tell you that we're safe." Seeing that Wu Nian had already made up his mind, Alan knew that he would only make him hate him if he said more. He smiled and nodded. "I'll wait for your call tonight. Don't make me worry." The steamer started after Alan had left, accompanied by the pilot and the steward. Lu Shuang stood at the bow of the ship, looking at the endless sea, his heart heavy. Wu Nian knew that she was in a bad mood, so he didn't call her. It was good to let her calm down. Half an hour later, Lu Shuang walked in and sat beside Wu Nian. He said firmly, "I must get the cooperation with Mo Shui this time. Shen Yiyan is young but mature. He's very shrewd, and his mind is very meticulous. Since he agreed to let you bring Xiao Bao out for a month, he must have other arrangements." Wu Nian analyzed. "Then what should we do?" Lu Shuang was in a trance for a moment. "I don't want to live with him anymore. I'm afraid of him, and I'm afraid that Xiao Bao will become a person like him. Let's go. Let's go when Shen Yiyan has his guard down the most," Wu Nian suggested. "As long as I bring Xiao Bao along, he will definitely be on guard." Lu Shuang sighed irritably. "Then don't let him know that you brought Xiao Bao with you." A ray of light flashed in Wu Nian's eyes. "What do you mean? What should I do?" "This Saturday is Mo Shui's daughter's birthday party. There will be many people attending, including Stephen. As the president of a nation, it's not suitable for Shen Yiyan to show up. He will never expect that you will escape on this day." "Then what about Xiao Bao?" "I can't bring Xiao Bao to the party. You know how strict the security of Shen Yiyan's manor is. Aunt Yang and Aunt Zhang have been guarding it. They have to report every little thing. Moreover, they never bring Xiao Bao out of the manor." Lu Shuang was upset. "Actually, the best way is for you to leave first and stay in D Nation for a year. On the one hand, you can settle down in D Nation. On the other hand, Shen Yiyan's energy will be focused on finding you, and I will have a chance to steal the child," Wu Nian suggested. "If so, Shen Yiyan will definitely not let you go." "I can't do that. After I negotiate the cooperation, Shen Yiyan will agree to let me take the child out on a trip." Wu Nian knew that Lu Shuang was worried about her, but the more Lu Shuang sacrificed for her, the worse she felt. It was already 4:00 in the morning when they arrived at Shen Yiyan's manor. Lu Shuang went to bed after seeing the child. She called Alan. "Are you home safely?" Alan asked softly. Wu Nian was silent, and many thoughts flashed through her mind. She wanted to ask Alan for help. After all, Alan was a member of the British royal family. However, she did not know how to repay the favor she owed him. "I'm home. Alan, will you come back tomorrow?" Wu Nian asked tentatively. "Yes, but not too early." "Maybe it will be evening," Alan said apologetically. "See you tomorrow night." Alan laughed. "Okay, see you tomorrow night. It's late, and you are injured. Go to bed. Good night and sweet dreams." "Good night. Sweet dreams." Wu Nian took a shower, but she did not wash her right arm. It was already 5:00 in the morning when she lay in bed and fell asleep. She was woken up by hunger. It was 3:15 in the afternoon. After brushing her teeth and washing up, she went to find Lu Shuang. As soon as she entered the door, she saw Shen Yiyan sitting on the sofa. He was wearing a white shirt, and the collar, cuffs, and lapel were all black. He looked cold and murderous. He stared at the man kneeling on the ground, handed the pistol to Lu Shuang, and said in a low voice, "I'll leave him to you now." Lu Shuang did not even know how to kill a chicken, let alone kill a man. She squatted down in front of the kneeling man. "I won't kill you. I just want to know why you arrested me and why you didn't let my friends go." The man kneeling on the ground glared at Lu Shuang and said fiercely, "Because you don't deserve it." As soon as he finished speaking, Shen Yiyan slapped him. The man fell to the ground with great force. Shen Yiyan looked down at him and said sternly, "It's not up to you to say whether I deserve it or not. It's up to me." A strange look flashed in the eyes of the man kneeling on the ground. He grabbed the pistol from Lu Shuang's hand and pointed it at Lu Shuang. Shen Yiyan stood in front of Lu Shuang and stared at the man on the ground coldly. "Mr. President, she is not worthy of your protection. You are destroying yourself," the man said angrily. The muscles on Shen Yiyan's face tightened. She said harshly and coldly, "Put down the pistol, and I will spare your life. I will die as a witness." The man pointed the pistol at his temple and shot. He fell to the ground, but his eyes were still open. Chapter 375. Lu Shuang clenched Shen Yiyan's shirt so hard that the veins on the back of his hand were clearly visible, and his shoulders were trembling slightly. Wu Nian turned around and didn't go in. She knew that Lu Shuang was not touched, but emotional. She had been living an ordinary life, happy, stable, and happy life. She was caught up in the trifles of life, dealing with them happily, and chatting with her friends happily. But now, she was involved in the royal family and politics. Wu Nian felt sad and drove to the hotel where the auction was held. She remembered that Alan lived there. On the way, she called Alan. "Alan, it's Wu Nian. Are you back?" Wu Nian asked softly. "I'm on the ship now, and it will take me about 4 hours to reach the hotel. Let's have dinner together tonight." Alan's gentle voice came from the other end of the phone. "Okay. Is the injury on your arm better?" Alan asked with concern. "Yes. See you tonight." Wu Nian thought of Lu Shuang's reaction just now, and her eyes were filled with mist, and the mist condensed into tears and flowed out. She wiped her tears, took a deep breath, and drove to the hospital first. She changed the gauze and put on 2 bottles of medicine. When she was done, she called Alan. "I was just about to call you. Do we have telepathy?" Alan said with a smile. "I'll wait for you at the entrance of the hotel." Wu Nian went straight to the point. "Go to the restaurant on the 4th floor. You can sit and rest there, and the music is beautiful. Eat what you want, and don't wait for me. I'll be there in about half an hour," Alan said softly. Wu Nian slightly raised the corner of her mouth. If she had met Alan 10 years ago, she would have fallen deeply in love with him. He was really a perfect lover. However, she was now covered in scars and her heart had already died on that deserted island. Her biggest wish now was to take care of Xiao Yan. She hung up the phone. 10 minutes after she arrived at the hotel restaurant, Alan came over. He was travel-worn with the humidity of the sea. Because he had not slept for 2 days and 1 night, the dark circles under his eyes were obvious on his snow-white skin, but it did not affect his aristocratic temperament at all. You must have waited for a long time. Sorry. Alan pulled out a chair, sat down, and handed her the menu like a gentleman. Sorry to trouble you, dear. The girl who was responsible for cooking for Stephen is missing. I didn't have enough for breakfast and lunch. You have to order more. Xia he had prepared dinner at noon yesterday. They had a good dinner last night. She was worried that Gu Lingqing would find out that Xia he was gone. However, Gu Lingqing's reaction was very normal yesterday. Or rather, he often looked so deep that she couldn't see what he was thinking. Anyway, it was good that Gu Lingqing didn't catch Xia he. It didn't matter whether he deliberately let Xia he go or he didn't find out. Give me 2 filet steak set, 1 foie gras, 1 fruit salad, 2 blue ocean, 2 borscht, 1 chicken wing, 1 French fries, and a snack platter. Thank you. Wu Nian ordered the dishes skillfully and looked at Alan. Do you want anything else? I like what you ordered, Alan said politely and handed a blue square jewelry box to Wu Nian. Wu Nian looked at Alan in confusion. I said I have something for you. You must accept it, Alan said softly. Wu Nian opened the jewelry box and saw the jade necklace, which Alan bought for 13 million. Didn't your grandmother ask you to buy this? It's not appropriate for you to give it to me. Wu Nian closed the jewelry box. My grandmother had a jade necklace and gave it to her eldest daughter-in-law. My mother didn't have it. She asked me to buy it for my wife. I think I have decided on you. Alan smiled and looked at Wu Nian with burning eyes. Wu Nian's eyes flashed with panic. I've only known you for a few days. It's too early to say that I have decided on you. You have to be responsible for your son's mother in the future. You don't know me. I'm more afraid that you will be taken away by others. Alan smiled. A woman who can be taken away by others won't be your match. Besides, although this necklace is for your wife, it's different if it's given by you and your grandmother before or after the wedding. Your grandmother wants respect. If I decide to marry you one day, when I go to see your grandmother, I won't ask for this necklace, but recognition, Wu Nian said seriously. The more I get to know you, the more I like you. What should I do? Alan said helplessly. The beginning of love is always good, because under the influence of dopamine, you only see the good points of the other party. As time goes by, you will see more and more flaws, and even the good points from before will become flaws. If one day, you accept all my flaws, then you will be the real deal. If one day, you accept all my shortcomings, then you will really fall in love with me. Wu Nian smiled and brushed off his confession. I'm looking forward to that day. Alan smiled and didn't force her. The waiter served the dishes they ordered one after another. Wu Nian ate it and didn't feel hungry anymore. She looked at Alan and said seriously, before I say it, can you promise to keep it a secret for me? Of course. Alan agreed without thinking. Do you know that Shinian has a wife? Wu Nian asked. He is a young and outstanding president and politician of a country. Apart from seeing him on TV, I've also met him once or twice in real life. He is a man of outstanding charm, and his wife is also graceful and luxurious, Alan commented. Lu Shuang wants to leave Shen Yiyan with her child. As long as he cooperates with Mo Shui, Shen Yiyan will let Lu Shuang travel with the child for a month. This is the best time for Lu Shuang to escape. Can you help me? Wu Nian asked sincerely. Then let them travel to the UK. I can't do anything about other places, but if they come to the UK, I can guarantee that they will disappear without a trace and Shinian will not be able to find them. Alan promised with a smile. Then I thank you on behalf of Lu Shuang. But can I have a small request? Alan held Wu Nian's hand and said. Go ahead. Wu Nian said straightforwardly. I'm your boyfriend. Shen Yiyan has a wide range of sources. He should know that Lu Shuang disappeared in the UK, and he can also guess that I did it. You are in a country and I'm worried that you will be in danger. Can you stay in the UK with me? Alan requested. The longer I stay in the UK, the more it proves that you did it. No matter how powerful Shen Yiyan is, he won't kill me. Wu Nian expressed his reluctance to leave in a euphemistic way. Alan's eyes dimmed. He lowered his head and kissed Wu Nian's hand. He said sadly, I admit that I'm not good enough to make you fall for me, and I can't make you leave your hometown to follow me. Wu Nian felt guilty for using him. I have 4 days off a month. I will go to the UK to find you. I will go every month until you don't want me to go. Chapter 376. Wu Nian felt desolate for a moment. She wasn't 18 years old anymore. She understood what the man meant when he said that he would stay with her at night. He didn't just mean to chat under the blanket. She lowered her head and twisted her hands under the table. She didn't want to. Alan looked at her kind face. Her long eyelashes left a silhouette under her eyes. She was quiet and lovely. He gradually moved closer to her and his lips landed on her eyes. Then he continued moving down and landed on her lips. What a coincidence to meet you here. Gu Lingxing's voice sounded coldly. Wu Nian stepped back subconsciously. She looked up at Gu Lingxing and met his exceptionally dark eyes. His brows were slightly furrowed. He was obviously unhappy, but the corners of his mouth were raised stiffly. Is Mr. Gu staying in this hotel too? Alan asked politely. Yes, it's more convenient. I won't disturb your meal. Gu Lingxing walked past them and sat down at a place further away from them. Wu Nian was quite uncomfortable. She tapped her fingers on the table lightly. Alan chuckled. Wu Nian looked at him in surprise. What are you laughing at? You're very special. You look as tough as a blade of grass, but you're very shy, Alan said gently. Alan, Wu Nian called. She wanted to say something but stopped. It's okay if it's not convenient for you today, Alan said gently. He seemed to have seen through her reluctance. Well, our country is more traditional than England when it comes to sex. Of course, the degree of tradition varies from person to person. Wu Nian paused. I won't force you, Alan promised with a smile. Wu Nian's eyes flickered with light. Alan was very nice. He was very gentlemanly and elegant. Other than his background and appearance, even his personality couldn't be faulted. She shouldn't be tired after interacting with him for a long time. But the better he was, the more burdened she felt. Her purpose of dating him was not simple. Maybe she was just using him as a lifesaver. I'm sorry, Wu Nian apologized. It's okay. I was too impatient. You have your concerns. Maybe I'm not good enough. I hope time will give me the chance to prove to you that I'm suitable for you. Alan held Wu Nian's hand. I'm sorry, Wu Nian said again. Alan lowered his head and kissed her forehead. He said softly, you don't have to say sorry to me, because I do it willingly. Then, do you want to come to my place for a while? Okay. Wu Nian agreed readily. Waiter, bill please. Alan took out his wallet. The waiter stepped forward and said respectfully, Sir, the guests at that table have already paid the bill for you. Alan looked at Gu Lingqing. He had his back to them, looking aloof and noble. Alan took out $200 from his wallet and put it on the table. Say thank you to that gentleman. I'll pay my own bill. Alan held Wu Nian's hand and left. Gu Lingqing turned around and looked at them. He was holding the wine glass too tightly. With a crack, the glass broke. The shards pierced into his palm. Blood mixed with red wine flowed out of his palm. He stood up and walked quickly to the door. Sir, the guest over there said that he'll pay his own bill, the waiter explained. I'm just paying for myself and my woman, Gu Lingqing said without looking at the waiter. Wu Nian and Alan were waiting for the elevator at the door. Gu Lingqing stood behind her. She didn't need to look back to know that he was coming. She straightened her back and held her breath. Alan also saw Gu Lingqing. He smiled and greeted him. Mr. Gu, are you done eating so soon? There was an accident. Gu Lingqing replied coldly. He glanced at Wu Nian with an even colder gaze. Miss Wu, you know some medicine, right? I saw that you dared to operate on people who cut their arteries. I've learned a little, but I'm not good at it, Wu Nian replied politely. Can I help bandage your hand? Gu Lingqing said sarcastically. Wu Nian looked at his hand and realized that blood was still dripping. Her heart tightened. She lowered her head. Sure, but I don't have gauze or anti-inflammatory medicine here. There's a pharmacy nearby. It's best if you go there and bandage it. Forget it if you don't want to help, Gu Lingqing said coldly. He was obviously unhappy. His displeasure weighed heavily on her heart. Wu Nian felt uncomfortable. The elevator opened with a ding. Gu Lingqing walked past them and entered. Wu Nian sighed. She really couldn't let him get hurt and give up on himself. I really don't have gauze or anti-inflammatory medicine here, Wu Nian said again. Alan, I don't want to go to the pharmacy or the hospital. Can you help me buy some gauze and anti-inflammatory medicine? Gu Lingqing asked Alan coldly. Alan smiled. Okay, which room are you in? I'll send it to you after I buy it. Room 1109. Sorry for the trouble. Alan looked at Wu Nian. Then you go to room 1109 first. Wait for me for a few minutes. Wu Nian nodded. She followed Gu Lingqing to room 1109 while Alan went down to buy gauze and other things. Gu Lingqing opened the door and gestured for Wu Nian to go in first. Wu Nian didn't think that he would do anything to her. It was just that Gu Lingqing was acting weird now and she felt a little strange. She walked in and Gu Lingqing followed her in and closed the door. With a bang, Wu Nian's back stiffened and she said in a businesslike manner, I'll treat your wound first. Gu Lingqing sat on the sofa and looked at her. Wu Nian stood on the spot. She felt that Gu Lingqing was acting weird now. Didn't you come to treat my wound? Why are you standing there? Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Wu Nian took a napkin and walked over. She held Gu Lingqing's injured right hand and wiped the blood on it. She saw that there were 4 wounds on his palm. One of them was so deep that the flesh could be seen. How did you cause this? Wu Nian looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. He was looking at her deeply and his eyes were cold. I remember you said that you just broke up with your boyfriend not long ago. In order not to feel heartache again, you even left the original city. According to this, you should have a deep love for your ex-boyfriend. You can sleep with another man so soon. Wu Nian heard the sarcasm in Gu Lingqing's words. Her face darkened and she said bluntly, this is my business. It has nothing to do with Mr. Gu. Of course it has something to do with me. You will help me take care of my child in the future. If the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked. If you live like this, I'm worried that my child will learn from you. Gu Lingqing said unhappily and confidently. Then you better not ask me to be your tutor. Wu Nian said with red eyes. Gu Lingqing got up very quickly. At the same time, he helped her up and pressed down on her, pressing her onto the sofa opposite him. Their bodies were tightly pressed against each other, airtight. Chapter 377. Wu Nian looked at him in shock. She couldn't believe that such words would come out of his mouth. She also didn't understand why he would say such words. I think Mr. Gu might have misunderstood, or I might have done something that made you misunderstand. I apologize first. I never had any improper thoughts about Mr. Gu. I just simply wanted a job that seemed challenging. Wu Nian said righteously. Gu Lingqing lifted her chin and rubbed her lips with his left thumb. Only you know whether you wanted it or not. I'll pretend that you didn't think about it. From now on, I'll allow you to think about it. Wu Nian's heart was beating fast. She looked at Gu Lingqing's face, trying to find something from his face. What he said was not frivolous, and there was not a trace of desire in his eyes. On the contrary, there was a kind of anger in his dark eyes. Was he testing her? I have a boyfriend. Wu Nian pushed his chest and said. Gu Lingqing raised the corner of his mouth. Don't you always have a foot in two boats? What? Wu Nian didn't understand what Gu Lingqing meant. Nothing. Gu Lingqing stood up and returned to his seat. His eyes were locked on her. Wu Nian felt uneasy under his gaze. I'll go see if Alan has bought the things. She rushed to open the door. As far as I know, Alan has a fiancé in England. He didn't break up with his fiancée. You're a little stupid. Gu Lingqing said coldly. Wu Nian stood in the same place. Alan's loyalty was not high. This was what she had judged after interacting with him. That fiancé should be the one that Alan had mentioned. They got to know each other through marriage. Hearing this news, she not only didn't feel sad, but also felt relieved. She and Alan didn't owe each other anything in this way. I know what I'm doing, but I don't think Mr. Gu knows what you're doing. Wu Nian said coldly. He opened the door and stood outside. He leaned against the wall and lowered his head in a daze. You've been waiting for me? Alan suddenly appeared in front of her. Okay. Wu Nian answered, took the plastic bag from his hand, and entered the door. Gu Lingqing was still sitting on the sofa. His back view was proud and cold, with a sense of alienation and indifference. His temperament was slightly cold. Her heart ached for no reason. She walked over and squatted down in front of Gu Lingqing. You don't have to bandage me up. Your arm is injured too. I'll do it myself. You can leave now. Do you need my help? Alan asked politely. Gu Lingqing glanced at Alan. No need. Send my regards to Elisa. Alan paused. Then rest more. He held Wu Nian's hand and left Gu Lingqing's room. Gu Lingqing threw the things that Wu Nian bought on the floor. He couldn't expose her. If he did, he was afraid that she would run away. He couldn't hug and kiss her, and he had to watch her leave with another man. It felt terrible. Wu Nian followed Alan into the lift. Alan didn't say anything. However, she had already sensed that Elisa should be Alan's fiancée. I've been thinking for a long time. Should I say it or not? Wu Nian said. Alan looked at Wu Nian and said politely, I've been thinking too. Should I say it or not? Girls first. You go first. If I want the plan to go smoothly, I shouldn't have exposed this piece of paper at this time. However, there are things that a gentleman shouldn't do. Not only did I make use of you, but I also hurt the innocent Elisa. So, Alan, Elisa is the person that I told you about before. She's the person that my parents introduced. We're engaged, but we don't think we're suitable. However, it's related to our two families, so we're dragging it out. I'll go back to China and settle things before looking for you. Give me a chance. I know I shouldn't lie to you. Maybe it's because of my deep-rooted bad habits that I purposely ignored the fact that Elisa is already my fiancée. I'm serious about you. I'm not playing around. Alan took over Wu Nian's words and explained. Wu Nian turned her face away. Her mind was in a mess. I don't blame you. I'm not innocent either. Alan, don't be impulsive. Don't be fooled by the illusion in front of you. You should think about it carefully. What do you want? I have a wound in my heart. It might not heal for the rest of my life. It just so happens that my greatest strength is patience. What if it's for the rest of your life? I'm afraid that I won't have the heart to love anymore, Wu Nian said worriedly. She was afraid that others would sacrifice for her. If she couldn't fall in love with Alan for the rest of her life, then Alan and Elisa would miss a good match. She would feel guilty. However, she was also worried that if she directly rejected Alan, Alan wouldn't help her. Lu Shuang wouldn't be able to escape. People were always trapped in contradictions. They couldn't get out of it. They could only hesitate and fumble around. They didn't know if what they did was right or if the result would be good. I like the word forever. If I can't make you fall in love with me for the rest of my life, at least every day is meaningful. Alan put his arm around her shoulder and pulled her into his warm arms. He said in a deep voice, "Wu Nian, you're carrying too much. You think too much. You're also too afraid of owing others." Wu Nian lowered her eyes. Her long eyelashes covered the tears in her eyes. That was because she had experienced too much. If she could turn back time, she definitely wouldn't choose to be a burden. With a ding, the elevator opened. "When I passed by the front desk just now, I booked an extra room. It's too late at night, and your arm is injured. You didn't want me to send you back. I'm worried that it's not safe for you to drive alone. Tonight, you can sleep here. We'll each have a room. You should feel at ease," Alan said gently. He opened the door for her and inserted the room card into the key. Wu Nian didn't reject again. "Thank you. I'll go back to England tomorrow to deal with the matter with Elisa. Will you accompany me back to England? My grandmother might want to see you," Alan asked softly without confidence. Wu Nian shook her head. "I have to help Lu Shuang win this cooperation first. Only then can she bring her child to England for a vacation." Alan smiled. "I envy her. You've sacrificed a lot for her. That's because you don't know that she sacrificed for me. Everything starts from me. It's fine as long as it stops with me," Wu Nian said guiltily. "Darling." Alan put his arm around Wu Nian's waist. "You should be happier. You deserve to be happy. I feel sorry for you." The corners of Wu Nian's lips curled up, and her eyes curved. Although there was no smile in her eyes, she was ethereal and distant. She was ethereal and unfathomable, making people want to remember her appearance forever. "I'll marry you," Alan promised. He then added, "as long as you agree." Before Wu Nian could reply, the hotel alarm rang urgently. She looked at Alan and asked worriedly, "Is this the fire alarm?" Chapter 378. There's a fire on the 15th floor. Come with me, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He glanced at them unhappily and turned around with a livid face. Wu Nian looked at his cold and lonely back and had a strange feeling in her heart. Did he come up to tell them? When did Gu Lingqing become a warm-hearted person? Wu Nian looked at Alan. Alan smiled warmly. Although the fire is going up, the 13th floor may also be affected. Moreover, it will probably be very noisy tonight. Why don't we go to another hotel? Wu Nian nodded. You haven't slept for 2 days and 1 night. You should have a good rest. I'll help you pack your luggage. It's okay. I can pack by myself. You can go down and wait for me in the lobby, Alan said gently. Wu Nian didn't want to wait for the fire to start and become a burden to others. She walked into the corridor. Gu Lingqing didn't go far. He stood at the corner and looked at her with bloodshot eyes. He pursed his lips tightly and she could see that he was suppressing his anger. She felt that she needed to have a good talk with him when she was free. His anger seemed to be directed at her, which made her feel uncomfortable. Wu Nian walked downstairs. Gu Lingqing held her arm and walked forward. When they reached the 5th floor, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice, I'll send you back. No need. Wu Nian rejected. Gu Lingqing looked at her sharply. I said I'll send you back, so I'll send you back. Wu Nian was furious. She shook off Gu Lingqing's hand. Mr. Gu, don't you think you're too overbearing? I'm free. Gu Lingqing moved closer to her and looked down at her face that was red from anger. Sadness and pain flowed through his pitch-black eyes. The look in his eyes made Wu Nian's heart clench. Didn't you study psychology? Then you should put yourself in my shoes and think about how you would feel if you were me now. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice, his eyes locked onto her. Wu Nian's heart was flustered. His eyes flickered as he looked at him. What do you mean by that? Gu Lingqing smiled bitterly. You don't understand, or are you pretending to be stupid? You're so smart, how can you not understand? Wu Nian had a bad feeling. His eyes became sharp and guarded. What does Mr. Gu mean by understand? Don't talk in riddles with me. Since you said that I should understand, then please explain it clearly. Gu Lingqing looks at her cold eyes and the redness in her eyes deepens. If I say I like you, will you stay away from me? Wu Nian paused and looked deeply into Gu Lingqing's eyes. He has fallen in love with Wu Nian. Should she be sad or happy? She didn't make a decision. Her face felt warm and moist. Gu Lingqing has fallen in love with Wu Nian. He will also fall in love with other women. There will always be a woman who is good enough to appear by Gu Lingqing's side. She should be happy for Gu Lingqing. I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. Mr. Gu is not my type. If Mr. Gu can't change his mind, then I can only change my behavior and life plan. Wu Nian said coldly. Gu Lingqing smiled. His dark eyes were covered with a thin veil. You believe what I said. You're really naive. It's good to have a simple mind, but it's wrong to be stubborn. I don't need President Gu to judge whether I'm right or not. Is it right for you to casually criticize others and interfere with others' lives? Don't talk about yourself when you have the mouth to talk about others. Wu Nian said angrily. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply, pursed his lips and didn't say anything. Wu Nian hated his deep look the most. She couldn't see through him, but he could see through others. So, Wu Nian didn't talk to him anymore. She walked downstairs. Many guests gathered in the living room of the building. The hotel claims manager smiled and explained one by one. The surveillance video shows that a woman burned paper money in the corridor on the 15th floor. That's why the smoke alarm automatically went off. There was no fire. Don't worry. Wu Nian went outside and called Alan. The hotel manager explained in the hall that there was a woman burning paper money in the corridor on the 15th floor. There was no fire. You don't need to come down. Well, is the elevator ready? Let me come down to pick you up. Alan said softly. No, I'm going back. I'm still worried about Lu Shuang. Thank you for your kindness. Wu Nian refused. Okay, I'll fly back to England at 8 tomorrow morning. It's too early. Don't send me off. I'll call you when I get to England. Remember to answer the phone. Don't make me worry, hee hee. Alan said jokingly. Rest early. Good night. I don't want to say goodbye to you. What should I do? Alan didn't hang up the phone. He looked out of the window and saw Wu Nian under the Chinese parasol tree. Parting is for a better reunion. Wu Nian looked at the 14th floor and saw Alan. Alan smiled. Good night. I'll see you off. Good night. Wu Nian hung up the phone and walked to the parking lot. She got into her car and drove back. Her mind flashed through the scenes from that night. What happened in Gu Lingqing's room and the conversation she had with Gu Lingqing on the stairs. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that Gu Lingqing's tone, attitude, and dialogue were all abnormal. It was as if he knew that she was Baiya. However, it was impossible for him to know that she was Baiya. Her appearance had changed, her name had changed, her resume had changed, and even her DNA had changed. What had gone wrong? Unknowingly, she drove back to the manor. She wanted to see Lu Shuang, but was stopped by the manor's butler. The butler explained with an ambiguous smile, "Sir and Madam are already asleep. If there's nothing urgent, it's not good to disturb them at this time." Wu Nian understood. Every time Shaniyan came, it was as if she had never eaten her fill. Her heart was even heavier. She walked in the garden and looked up at the sky. There was a moon tonight. There was a bright star next to the moon. The moon was accompanied by stars. It felt good to have someone to accompany her all the time. She sat on the wooden chair by the lake. Her phone rang. It was Alan. She picked up the call. "You're not asleep yet? I was worried about you. Have you reached home?" Alan said gently. Perhaps it was because he was about to sleep, his voice was a little hoarse. "I just arrived. Sorry to have made you worry. It's good that you're here. Rest early then." Wu Nian heard his kind laughter. Her eyes darkened. Rest early then. It was destined that she would not sleep well that night. In the morning, she woke up at 8:20. She brushed her teeth, washed up, and went for a jog in the garden. From afar, she saw Gu Lingqing sitting on the wooden chair by the lake. He saw her too. Instinctively, she wanted to run somewhere else. However, he had already seen her. If she did not greet him and ran somewhere else, it would make her look guilty. Chapter 379. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply and didn't say anything. Wu Nian felt that she was asking for it. She smiled awkwardly and continued to run. She ran the second lap. Gu Lingqing was still sitting on the chair, looking down and using his phone. The sunlight was just right, and when it fell on his handsome body, it was like a golden halo, bringing with it a warm feeling. Because he lowered his head, stray hair left a black silhouette on his face, which accentuated his originally resolute facial features. Wu Nian's eyes softened a little. She saw him raise his head and quickly looked away, pretending not to look at him. Gu Lingqing picked up his phone and took more than a dozen photos of her. Wu Nian didn't notice. Gu Lingqing found Bai Ye's photos and compared them. His forehead was the same, bright and full. The head shape was the same. Bai Ye's head was goose egg shaped, not flat. The old people said that the head shape was shaped by the pillow when she was a baby. When she slept with her face facing the sky, the back of her head was flat. When she slept with her face sideways, it would become a full goose egg shaped head. This kind of head looked very good when tied into a ponytail. Gu Lingqing's lips curved up slightly. Bai Ye adjusted her eyes, lips, face shape, ears, and nose without moving. It was fate. Bai Ye had a small round ear above her earlobe, which couldn't be seen without looking carefully. He estimated that Bai Ye didn't notice it herself, so he didn't do the ear surgery. Wu Nian ran one lap after another. Seeing that Gu Lingqing had been sitting on the chair, he didn't talk to her or look at her, he was still looking at his phone. When she ran the 10th lap, Gu Lingqing was no longer sitting on the chair. Wu Nian subconsciously looked for his figure. She glanced around, but didn't see Gu Lingqing. She thought about her own behavior and found it funny. She and Gu Lingqing were nothing now. Didn't she resist meeting Gu Lingqing by chance? What was he doing now? Wu Nian continued to run. After another 10 laps, Lu Shuang came to look for her with a serious look on his face. She was also tired from running, so she walked over to Lu Shuang and worriedly asked, "Are you all right?" "It's still the same. If you don't erupt in silence, you will die in silence. You always have to wait for the best opportunity. I just saw Gu Lingqing and Shaniyan together. What can they say when they are together?" Although Gu Lingqing left the military area to engage in business, in fact, the Gu family's influence is not only in the military, but also in the political power. It is not strange that Shaniyan is looking for him. In addition, Alan promised to help. As long as you travel to the UK, she can make you disappear without any trace. Wu Nian said. He comforted Lu Shuang. Shen Yiyan is not a simple person. If I disappear in the UK, he will soon suspect Alan and you. He won't let you go. Lu Shuang was worried. Wu Nian smiled. Even if he doesn't let me go, it won't change anything. As long as he doesn't admit it, there will never be any evidence. Besides, with Alan's identity, Shen Yiyan won't offend him rashly. I hope he finds another woman as soon as possible and stops provoking me. Then I can come back to look for you. Lu Shuang lowered his eyes and said. Let's not talk about this. There are too many variables in the future. Tomorrow is Mo Shui's daughter's birthday. Have you bought the gift? Lu Shuang pursed his lips. Shen Yiyan said that Mo Shui's daughter likes men the most. Moreover, she already has a man she likes. It's better to give her the one she likes than the expensive gift. Well, we can take an unusual path. It's good to try. Do you know who the man she likes is? Wu Nian asked. Lu Shuang sighed and said with gloomy eyes, Gu Lingqing. Ha! Wu Nian laughed. He is really a toad with two legs. Lu Shuang was amused by Wu Nian and his depression was gone. Gu Lingqing must know that you described him as a toad. You'll probably die 1,000 times over with just a single glare. So you must say bad things behind his back and to someone you trust, in case he finds out. Wu Nian laughed. Gu Lingqing may have dinner here today. I don't want to face her. Let's go out to eat. By the way, can you help me think of a gift? I don't dare to give Gu Lingqing a gift. Lu Shuang put his arm around Wu Nian's shoulder. Okay, wait for me. I'll take a shower. Wu Nian wiped the sweat on his face. By the way, how is your wound now? Wu Nian asked worriedly. It's just a small wound on my arm. When I went to change the dressing yesterday, I saw that it was recovering well. It didn't affect my running. I'll go out and change the dressing again to see how the wound is healing. I think it should be healed soon, Wu Nian said lightly. You are so brave. I'll wait for you at the door. I'm afraid that Shen Yiyan will be annoying, Lu Shuang said and went straight to the door. Her phone rang. She saw that it was Shen Yiyan's call. She frowned and said impolitely, Shen Yiyan, am I your mother? You haven't been weaned yet, right? I just left for 10 minutes. Do you have any milk? Shen Yiyan said coldly. I don't have any. Go find someone with milk. Lu Shuang hung up the phone directly. Shen Yiyan called again and said angrily, if you dare to hang up on me again, you won't be able to walk out of the room anymore. I mean what I say. She knew that he meant what he said, but what right did he have to do that? Lu Shuang was so angry that he was about to explode. You, President Shen, are so powerful. Don't say that you won't let me step out of the room. You can kill me like stepping on an ant. Do I dare to hang up? Go ahead and say it. Lu Shuang threw his phone into his bag and walked towards the door no matter what he said. After Shen Yiyan said that, she heard that there was no sound from Lu Shuang's side. She gritted her teeth and said to the housekeeper, find Madam's current location in 1 minute. Oh. I'll go and check the surveillance now. The butler immediately replied. Right now, the president did not show any signs of anger on his face. The only person who could anger him to this extent was the madam. Lu Shuang had just walked to the door when Shen Yiyan arrived before him. She was still holding her phone in her hand and looked at him unhappily. Lu Shuang, have I been too lenient with you? You lose your temper as soon as you answer the phone. I told you not to hang up, but now you don't even answer the phone. Do you have nothing better to do? Lu Shuang turned his face away, thought for a moment, took out his phone and hung up. Shen Yiyan, you are really asking for a beating. You don't have to go out today. He rushed towards Lu Shuang angrily. Lu Shuang was so angry that he didn't know what to say. He threw his bag on Shen Yiyan and squatted down. Shen Yiyan was about to get angry when he saw her lowering her head. Her shoulders were trembling, and her tears were dripping onto the cement floor, making small spots of water wet. Chapter 380. Lu Shuang thought about it. Crying in front of him would be a coward. She wiped her tears and stood up. What's the matter? Hurry up and tell me. I'm going out after you're done. Shen Yiyan frowned when she saw her fierce look. You're not crying anymore? Am I crying? I'm draining water. Do you understand? Lu Shuang denied. Draining water. Heh. Shen Yiyan sneered. I think you should be mentally retarded. Lu Shuang did not want to talk to him anymore. She rolled her eyes at him and walked away. Shen Yiyan had no choice but to grab her arm. Lu Shuang, you're a punching bag, right? You get angry when you talk to me. Can you be obedient? That depends on whether you're speaking the human language. If you don't like it, of course I'll get angry. I'm not a plant. All plants have emotions. Lu Shuang tried to pry her fingers apart. Gu Lingqing asked me today if Wu Nian is Baiya. What do you think I should say? Shen Yiyan said in a low voice. Lu Shuang panicked. When she told Gu Lingqing that Wu Nian was Baiya, Gu Lingqing did not believe her and even tried to suppress her. Now that Wu Nian and Alan were together, she did not want Gu Lingqing and Baiya to be together. If Gu Lingqing knew that Wu Nian was Baiya, Gu Lingqing would definitely pester her. What did you say? Lu Shuang asked worriedly. Shen Yiyan let go of her hand and asked, what do you want me to say? Of course not. If Wu Nian wanted to be with Gu Lingqing, she would have told Gu Lingqing herself. She didn't tell Gu Lingqing because she didn't want Gu Lingqing to know, Lu Shuang said directly. Shen Yiyan looked at her with a secretive look. She curled her lips and her eyes were sparkling. Lu Shuang had a bad feeling. You didn't tell me, did you? You think I'm you? Gu Lingqing said you said it. Wu Nian is Baiya. Shen Yiyan said with a smile. Lu Shuang was speechless. Embarrassed, she blushed slightly and turned her face away. Her eyes flickered as she said softly, there are a few days a month when my head is squeezed and I say the wrong thing in a moment of impulse. Are you saying yes or no? I denied it, Shen Yiyan replied. Lu Shuang was relieved and smiled. You're really good at lying. The skills you learned since you were young are really useful when you grow up. Shen Yiyan was speechless. He curled his lips. You're right. I suddenly want to turn over a new leaf. I shouldn't lie. After all, Gu Lingqing is very useful to me. Lu Shuang held his hand. How can you be like this? If you call me nice, I might not be like this. Anyway, I want Gu Lingqing to know that Wu Nian is Baiya and he owes me a favor. I don't think it's a loss, Shen Yiyan said slowly. Are you serious? Lu Shuang was really afraid that he would say it. What about the nice one? Shen Yiyan leaned forward and put his ear close to Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang looked at his approaching figure with disdain. Handsome guy is not nice. What do you think? It's just a fact. It's not nice. Shen Yiyan frowned and said. Lu Shuang smiled and took the initiative to hold the back of Shen Yiyan's neck. I understand. The fact is not nice. Then I love you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You're the man I love the most. Ha 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 ha. This is nice, right? Don't worry. I promise that it's 100% fake. Shen Yiyan frowned even more. He carried her up and said, I know you don't want to go out today. No, Shen Yiyan, put me down. I really have something to do. Tomorrow is Mo Shui's daughter's birthday. Xiao Nian and I are going out to buy a birthday present. Lu Shuang twisted his waist. Gu Lingqing has already given Stephen to me. Without his competition, I have nothing to fear. Shen Yiyan walked inside. Without Gu Lingqing, there's still Su Jiran. You're ruining things. I don't care. I want to take the baby out for a trip. Shen Yiyan looked down at her angry face and thought of the days when he was young and frivolous. He had been soaked in the vat of politics for a long time. He was surrounded by deceit and intrigue. He had also become different from his original self. He was good at using money and power, and he was cautious at every step. If he was not careful, he would walk into other people's political traps. He had caused countless people to die. For the sake of the big picture, he had sacrificed marriage, freedom, and happiness. Only Lu Shuang could let him see his old self, who was more free and happy. Therefore, he liked her when she was angry, when she was crying, or when she was willful. She was the only one who treated him as Shen Yiyan, not the president. Then give me a kiss, and I'll let you go out. Shen Yiyan said softly. You're so annoying. Lu Shuang kissed him on the face reluctantly. Shen Yiyan put her down, patted her head, and said meaningfully, don't run around. Lu Shuang licked his tongue, turned around, and ran to the door. Shen Yiyan looked at Lu Shuang's back. It was impossible for him to let her go. If she left, he would be lost in the ocean of politics forever. He would only be left to live alone. As soon as Lu Shuang arrived at the door, he saw Wu Nian coming over. She saw Wu Nian and felt a little guilty, because she told Gu Lingqing that she was Baiya without her permission. Lu Shuang really hated himself for not using his brain. What was he thinking at that time? Xiao Nian, I'm sorry. Lu Shuang apologized. What's wrong? Why are you apologizing all of a sudden? Wu Nian was puzzled. I always make mistakes and ask you to clean up the mess for me. It was like that in the past, and it's still like that now. Lu Shuang lowered his head. Wu Nian smiled and comforted him. No matter what you do, I will forgive you. Because I know you are doing it for my sake. You just don't know how to do it for my sake. Or, you have an arrogant thought, and the result is the opposite of what you want. Lu Shuang scratched his head. That seems to be the case. I must be careful in my words and actions in the future. Wu Nian smiled. I'll wait for the day when you are careful in your words and actions. Sigh. Lu Shuang sighed. Sometimes wishes were beautiful, but the reality was harsh. I'll take you to the hospital to change the gauze first. The wound on Wu Nian's arm did not recover as well as he had imagined. Although the wound had scabbed, the surrounding area was still red and swollen. You shouldn't run. You need to rest more. Lu Shuang felt sorry for him. Wu Nian smiled nonchalantly. Life is about exercise. This recovery is considered good. There is no infection, no pus, and no fever. Don't you feel pain? Lu Shuang bandaged Wu Nian's wound. Wu Nian shook her head. My body has the ability to adapt. This kind of pain is nothing to me. If I don't think about it, I will ignore it. You're tuning into the Dreamy Love Stories YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.